In our previous and first session, you all up at Hemswick Hall in the district of Rivengard known as. There, in addition to meeting, you met Fortuna's favored guild leader, Michael Quintinius Corvus, or Quinn, as he asked you to call. Um, Along with Ada Senius, the only other adventurer in the guild aside from you, and Ariston Nixif, who is the guild administrator and apparent cat lover. Um, Quinn tasked you with meeting a client regarding a stolen item, um, and you met this client, Moira Letham, who took a bit of an interest in Grix. She mentioned to you that a halfling man named Creighton had stolen an item of sentimental value to her. It was a yellow gemstone that looked like an eagle's eye. She offered you 500 gold pieces, and you persuaded her to increase that offer to, I believe, 520. I can't even
Yeah,
remember. Yeah.
520.
Um, she did agree to that, and sent you towards the warehouse district to seek this Creighton fellow. On your way there, a couple of things happened. First, you noticed that there were birds following you, and through a wonderful nature check, you determined that they were crows. Um, and you did confirm that they weren't just hanging out; they were obviously following you. Um, in addition to those birds, you also were confronted by a rather large Goliath man named Hugo Morrow. Hugo invited you back to his house to discuss a slightly different arrangement. Um, you did decide to meet with Hugo. He informed you that he had very little interest in the item itself, beyond keeping it out of Moira's hands. Um, he mentioned to you that, or he told you at least, that she was a liar and had no intention of actually paying you once you. Um, and while he claimed that his reasoning for not liking her very much was due to her wronging him in a business deal, Grix was able to read the surface thoughts of his mind and found out that he was really just a bit annoyed that she had rebuffed his advances and turned down his marriage proposal. So you sent a letter back to the guild asking for some guidance there, whether or not you should take Hugo's offer of larger payout, or if you should just follow the contract as stated. Um, Nix was actually the one who replied to the letter, stating that the guild charter did not allow for you to break the agreement of the contract. So with that, you turned down Hugo's offer of additional money, and you went off in search of Creighton. There, Daniel nearly ran afoul of the Firebrew crime family, um, but Verlon was able to investigate on his own, um, and found out the location of a shady apothecary known as the Dryad, which actually Hugo had mentioned that Creighton used the Dryad as a fence for stolen goods. Um, from there, it was getting late in the evening, and you decided to rest at the Iron Bucket back in the Docks District, or the Harbor District. Um, you didn't really come up with much of a plan that evening. You did get to know each other's motivations a little bit better. Um, but in the morning, you all wake to start a new day, and that is where we will officially begin this evening's session. So, what would you guys like to do?
Daniel's gonna come down the stairs, got this messy bed head, he's got all his clothes on, like, morning. How's it going, Al?
Grix would be still in his room until someone came to get him. I'm assuming.
Caden would probably be eating breakfast at this point, and when I see Daniel, I'll just smile and wave with food in my.
Dawn would probably also be down having breakfast, and I'd probably just nod. I see him.
Yeah, I'd say the same. Verlon would be just sat there with a mug, primarily.
And Pebble would probably come right after that. Just sit up table and start eating out of whoever's dish is already there.
He'll slide on the table, kind of holding his head in his hands. You get the impression he's really not a morning person. All right, what's the plan today? Do we got one?
Well, I assume it's to talk to whoever's in charge of the Dryad to gain information or the item.
And get Grix. He's not here yet, is he? And she runs upstairs, just knocks on his door very, very loudly, then runs back downstairs.
I mean, depending on how quickly you run, you would hear a lot of papers swishing around. The door open behind you, like as you're running away, and he just kind of looks out and says, "Yeah,
It's morning. Get your butt down here."
yes," and he closes the door real quick, and he'll be down in a couple minutes after he puts papers back.
It seems a few people here are not morning people.
I'm fine in the morning.
You too, Merlin? Merlin, I'm sorry, Verlin?
No, I'm usually up earlier than this.
I'm not up early usually, but I mean, you wake up, you wake up.
And Grix will come rushing down with handfuls of paper still, like you could see like books falling out of his bag and such, and he just comes down and makes his way to the table and just, sorry, I was busy, and he just puts his books down and his everything and just sits there.
No, it's okay. Now eat breakfast, fast. And she grabs food from whoever's plate and just shoves it in his face.
Would you like me to just buy you something? I say as I swat your hand away from my plate.
We don't share meals?
Here, have mine. I'm not
Thank
particularly
you.
famished.
She immediately takes it before you can finish your sentence.
Daniel will wave down the. It's a tavern, right? I would say bar owner. That's all right. But tavern keeper is gonna say, "Can I get some coffee, please?"
Yeah, it's a inn/bar, so.
So yeah, once he starts eat, he pretty much just does start eating off the table, looking very awkward and everything. But he just kind of looks around everyone and says, what did I miss?
Did I miss anything? I got you fast enough.
We were trying to figure out where to go from here. I figure our options are to either go and speak to the Dryad or to try to catch Creighton before he delivers the goods.
Well, we know where the Dryad is. If he isn't there or hasn't delivered, we can get his location from her.
But if she likes him, or he likes him, wouldn't they be able to warn him or send us in the wrong direction?
I wouldn't worry too much about that. From the sounds of it, no one likes Creighton. Even that damn beggar the other night last night didn't much care for him.
Well, but, I understand, but if you're the person that he is selling the goods that he steals to, that may be different.
Fair point.
People who are generally on the underside of a city do not like unwanted attention in their establishments.
And it would seem that attention would be coming from us.
Yes, cause of Creighton.
Hopefully they see it that way.
So, if we're going to the Dryad, what's the plan if we run into him there? I imagine the worst case scenario would be to have him at the Dryad and something happen.
We just punch him?
I could say shoot him in the ass, but I think Pebble here's got the right idea.
I would imagine that the Dryad would get involved at that point.
I'm gonna look right to Dawn and just say, um, you seem to know about being more quiet. What do you think?
I don't think the Dryad would get involved. Why would they put their life on the line for a scumbag like Creighton?
Do we know how strong the Dryad is? Would they be putting their life on the line if they intervene? One way to look at it is Creighton is trying to sell them the gem that we want. So they could turn a quick profit if they buy it from Creighton and then sell it to us, as opposed to us taking it from him.
So we just gotta pay more money.
I don't like the sound of that, but
That would probably be the easiest solution, assuming that a buyer isn't already set up.
Or that this person doesn't want to keep it for themselves.
Exactly.
I was thinking perhaps we can look for him first, while having someone keep an eye out at the Dryad's place of business, just in case he came then.
I think Miss Dawn might be the best person to be doing that. Then Daniel give a pretty good nod to her.
I'll nod back.
But then how will she tell us if Creighton comes to the shop before we find him?
Oh, perhaps I could leave Archie with her, and if she sees something, I could tell him to come find me.
You can talk to a bird?
Oh, he's not a regular bird. He's a
She just stares.
but yes, I can talk only with him.
No other fake creature?
Oh, no, not at this time.
I can talk to small animals, sorta.
You might understand him a bit then, so some of his feelings or such.
I will also go to the apothecary with Dawn.
At least she's got backup. Nothing wrong with that. I know we're kind of splitting us up a little. But always good to keep your options open, yeah?
Well, we don't have to look very, very far away from the apothecary. We could all stay somewhat near each other.
Are you able to communicate with your fey creature from a distance? Like if we get into trouble, can you let them know?
As long as I'm within 100 feet of him.
That seems a bit unlikely.
Still, he might not need to speak to the animal directly. I could just send it back.
Oh no, I'm talking about if we need to communicate with you guys.
Well, it is difficult if we want to be able to watch the apothecary as well as look. If we want to just talk to the apothecary first, that would solve that. But I'd be just worried that she or he may not be very fond of us.
Or just look around first.
Well, here's the thing, I suppose. We can't seem to make up our minds for whatever the gods may have for us. Daniel give it like a smile. It's like, so, all right, let's do this. Pretty certain. If you want to do apothecary first, raise your hand. Daniel raises.
Verlin will just state, I'm going to the apothecary.
Oh, you're no fun.
I want to search. Standing around doesn't seem fun.
I see more problems possible coming from going there than just looking for him first.
All right, so that's 2 for apothecary, 2 for no. Any tiebreakers?
Am I the last one to?
Well,
someone
I
else?
think that's you, and I think I missed Dawn.
Well, I'm not too fussed either way. I suppose.
You can flip a coin.
Compared to sitting around with our thumbs up our collective asses, I think that might be the better option to do.
I'm inclined to try Creighton first. Approaching the Dryad might lose them our favor. And if they're a fence in the underworld of Rivengard, I imagine their influence can stretch quite far.
Well, unless you want to flip that coin, I think looking for the thief might be the better option here, or at least the one we can all agree on.
Well, if we do agree on that, is one of us still going to the apothecary regardless? I look at Berlin pointedly.
I would have a valid reason to go to an apothecary, so that would give me an in.
What do you need to go to apothecary for?
Gotta buy
nothing-
stuff.
Oh, well, still you got nothing burning, do you? But well, that works too.
I mean, if you wish, I can set things on fire.
Not that kind of, but you know what? Never mind.
Well, I think no matter what we all decide, the first step would be to head back to the warehouse district.
Yeah, we can agree on that. Daniel, up in the rest of his coffee, flip it upside down table, the cup, and put a silver right on top of it, and start going to the door.
I will stand up and follow him.
Yeah, Pebble just leaves.
I was watching Pebble the entire time, almost at breakfast. Was there any glowing?
No.
Okay.
The gnomish rave stick, I love it.
Yeah, just imagine all the schools of magic. She would definitely be a rainbow.
Disco dance. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So
All
as a
right.
quick aside, on Twitter, Matt Mercer, they clarified, actually him and I can't remember his name off the top of my head now. The dude from Wizards of the Coast clarified that the Dunamancy is actually not a separate school of magic. So, Mike, just for
Okay.
we were wondering about that before, so it is not. It will fall under various ones, I believe.
Okay.
But they did also mention, I think there's going to be like variations. So like it will be toned down. There's like options for if you're going to use it in in Exandria, or if you're going to use it like in like Forgotten Realms or whatever, because apparently it would be stronger if you were going to use it in Exandria because it's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Gotcha.
so you all decide to head back towards the warehouse district. You have no idea where you're going or who you should talk to or what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, well, he mentioned the Dryad, so
Yeah, so I know where Verlon wants to go.
As we're walking through, are there any like people around? Like, is it too early in the day or anything?
At this point, there would definitely be quite a bit more commotion going on. In fact, more than you saw when you were there last night.
All right. Are there like beggars around?
Not like that you see just sitting
Okay.
around. No.
As we're
This
walking,
is
I'm just
the warehouse district in and of itself is not traveled through much by way of people that don't have business there. So you did meet one beggar, but for the most part, this doesn't get a whole lot of public traffic.
I'm gonna look around and stop, look at Daniel real quick, and then kind of look away from him to anyone else and just say, anyone feel like trying to ask about Creighton today?
Yeah, sure. Just keep me away from the brews today. Yeah.
Oh, you. Okay.
All right. Is there any particular? I'm not gonna asking a crowd be kind of difficult. Is there anybody that's kind of standing off the side, like a guard, perhaps, or anybody shady? I should say.
Warehouse district they're either workers or they look shady. You don't see very much by way of guards, at least from the watch anyway.
All right. I'll go over to one of the shady folk standing next to the alleyway, because what can go wrong, right? You'll go up and kind of give a pretty wide grin, like, "Hey, friend, can I bother you for a sec?"
The person just kind of looks at you.
Daniel give a pretty wide grin and said, "Sorry to bother you. I'll make this quick as possible. Imagine you got to get back to work or whatever it is you're doing. I'm looking for somebody. Little rotten thief. Apparently, name's Creighton. Do you know him?"
They just kind of stare at you.
Do you not speak common?
Maybe they're looking for money.
Daniel is very loud, very like he'll pull out a gold piece. He goes, "Does this mate loosen your tongue, friend?"
Just puts it in the pocket, says, never met the man, but heard Nasser was chasing after him.
Wait, who?
And the guy just walks away. But he said Nasser.
Well, yeah, I don't think I've seen. Have we heard Nasser yet? I don't have
You
that
have
in my
not.
notes.
You
Okay.
have not.
Oh, but Dan's gonna go like, what? That was not worth a gold piece, you jackass. He's gonna go back to the group and say, "Well, anybody know a Nasser?"
Nope. You should have given him 2 gold pieces.
Hell, the information he gave me wasn't even worth one.
So we have, I guess, two options. We either just keep walking and hoping, or perhaps we just go and confront the Dryad.
Would you like me to try and give it a go?
Yeah, maybe you have better luck.
He definitely has better luck.
Ouch, dear sir, ouch. But he's gonna give Berlin a sure, go for it.
Yeah, so Verlin's going to purposely not go up to people, but go up close enough to try and hear any rumours or any of that. Fuck that guy. To try and find out where he is. So I'd walk around for a bit trying to listen in on conversations.
Do an investigation check, I guess.
No.
Ooh. Rob, if you just remind everybody, because Rob did forget about this, we all have inspiration die. So if you use re-roll, I guess that's why I'm bringing that up.
I mean, yeah, I could attempt to re-roll. Would you accept that?
No, you can use that however you want. I don't care.
Oh, just double checking.
Yeah.
That's fair to bring it up, because we apparently didn't forgot, so.
Well, I'll spend an inspiration to try that again.
I'm rooting for you, but it's better.
You don't find anything about Creighton, but I'll say you at least hear enough to determine that Nasser is essentially a moneylender. He's a loan shark.
Would they have mentioned where to find Nessa? Nessa?
With a 14, no.
Well, it seems this Nessa is a money lender.
Oh, he's a shark. Well, that figures.
Well, if we can't go around asking about Creighton really loudly, can't we just go around asking about Nasser really loudly? And we can pretend that we want to get money from him.
Well, darling, we'll keep an eye on you so you don't go poof in the middle of the street. But if you want to go ask, that's up to you.
Real quick,
Okay.
Matt. How large, like, is this district we're in, like, miles? If you're trying to talk, you're muted.
I was not.
Oh,
I'm trying to talk. Yeah, I mean, like, so there are probably over 1 million people who live in Rivengard total. So like every district is quite large.
Okay. Because I'm gonna look at everyone and just say, well, there is one other possibility. I can try to find the object that Kraden has stolen. The only thing is that this is a very, very large place, and it would only work if we ended up being within 1,000 feet of it.
That sounds a bit like a risky move.
But if I do it outside of the apothecary, we would know if it was already inside, or if not, and then that would also let us know whether it'd be worth talking to the dryad or not.
Do we have any other options? He's gonna kind of give a nod, like, well, we have a plan at least to Grix and go look around.
Besides yelling out on the street for Nasser, nope.
Verlin, can you bring us closer to the apothecary?
Sure, I know where it is. And I'll lead the way to the apothecary.
And now, Matt, one other question: Is it like, I know magic isn't illegal here or anything, but is it like weird to see someone out in the streets casting a spell?
I mean, I guess it all depends. I mean, because it depends on what you're doing. I mean, if you're just motioning around and stuff, if you don't have like sparks coming off of you, or you're not casting fireball or something, like,
Okay.
I mean, like,
So if there's no like effect that's dangerous, it's not too bad.
like the
Like an open
locate
hostile reaction.
yeah, I mean, like locate object. Like I don't imagine it has much of a visual effect after you cast it.
Okay.
So I don't think that it would be too big of a deal.
All right. So one last time, as we're like walking there, he's gonna look to everyone. He's gonna say, "All right. So it was the shape of an eagle's eye. Do we know what kind of gem it was, or anything like that? All the details will make it more easy."
I think the only detail was that it was a yellow eagle's eye.
Can we roll some sort of check to see if we recognize the gem from the description?
Yep.
That'd be an intelligence check, wouldn't it?
Well, but history, arcana.
It depends on what you might think the gem to be. If you think it's like a historically item, then you would roll history. If you think it might possibly be like a magical item, then you could just roll arcana. I mean, they're both intelligence checks. They don't really matter.
Well, we got plenty of folks here. I'll try history at least.
I can try arcana.
20.
Jesus.
Dang.
Bunch of big brains over here. It doesn't strike you as any known historical, like famous historical item. Verlon, you would be under the impression that you're not familiar with too many naturally occurring gems that would look like an eagle's eye, at least in the description that you have. Like if it looks, there might be something that is, oh, it's got like a brown imperfection in it that makes it look like an eye. But I'll say you have heard of items in the shape of magical stones and gems that are made to look like the eyes of various creatures.
It sounds
But
like
but with that, there's not like you're not like, oh, it's this very famous magical
There's
item.
the
Like
eagle's eye of.
yeah, it's not that, but you're at least familiar with the concept of people fashioning magical items to look like animal eyes.
more than likely it's a gemstone infused with magic, crafted to look like an eagle's eye.
Okay.
Oh, what if I do my glowy thing and just walk around for a bunch? And then
Oh, that'd take
Well-
a hell of a long time, though, wouldn't it?
I have no idea.
well, w- do you have to do something, or does it just happen?
I can do it 3 times. And it lasts.
If it's detect magic, it's 10 minutes,
Okay.
unless it's different because it's like
Okay, yeah, it's detect magic spell without using spell slot, so 10 minutes.
Okay.
3 times 10 minutes.
Okay.
Is it 3 times like per long rest or per dawn or
Per long rest.
long rest?
He'll look at you and say, "Well, perhaps if I get a sense that it is inside, that would be very helpful."
Okay, just tell me when to glow, and I will try to glow.
So yeah, when we're outside there, I'm gonna go ahead and I will cast this, like thinking of a magical jeweled eagle's eye.
So just to set the scene for you all, just think of your party all walking down the street together with your gnome friends. One of them walking around glowing, and the other one just sort of like waving his hands around.
She's not
casting-
glowing yet.
Not yet. That's
So-
funny, yeah.
But yeah, I'm just thinking it would be quite the interesting scene to see.
We bring real charisma to this group.
I can dig it.
So if you guys just sort of like circle the gnomes and let them sort of walk in the middle, maybe you can hide them a little bit too.
Oh, Daniel's saying like at least right in front of Pebble. I think Griff's gonna be on his own on that one.
And I assume that like if you were glowing, it would probably just be emanating from you. So if it would be like, your hands and your face, I guess, would glow, but like obviously it wouldn't glow through your clothing. So
I'm assuming that, yeah. I can just send it out.
faintly glow corresponding to, yeah. So I mean, I don't think it's more fun to think of a big neon glowing gnome, but I mean, not quite that dramatic. All right, so you guys are walking towards the Dryad's apothecary, correct?
Yeah, I don't want to. I also don't want to do this like right outside the door. I'll do it like like 100 or 150 feet away from the place.
Okay. So Verlon takes you on the path that he believes it to be, and it was described to him as a small circular tower, about 3 stories high, just sort of connected to a side building, but the entrance to the apothecary itself is just a circular tower. So as you're making your way down there, you spot what you believe it to be, and like I mentioned previously, particularly in this area, any sort of shops that exist would not have signs saying, "Hey, look, this is an apothecary." So you recognize that you've gotten to the general direction, and you can see a building. That you can see this sort of short tower, and you assume that this is the place that you're looking for based on the description.
So yeah, as we're within like 100, 150 feet, I'm gonna look to everyone and just say, I just need a couple of seconds, and I'll start. I'll pull out a little piece of wood and start rolling around in my fingers and say a little incantation, and then just like kind of close my eyes and wait. Do I sense anything?
Just reading the locate object spell to make sure.
It's within 1,000 feet. I think
It's the alternative part you're probably interested in.
I didn't know if this one was affected by like the lead case or anything like that.
Yeah, I would say that it does appear to be in the general direction of the apothecary.
Okay. And is it stationary or is it moving?
It is stationary.
Okay. I'll kind of like my eyes will pop open and just go, oh, perhaps he's already sold it. It seems to be, and I'll just point in the direction.
So no glowing yet.
No, perhaps when we're in the building, but then also, I don't know how. I've never seen anything like I don't know how people would react to seeing you glowing.
Honestly, it might be a better idea keeping her outside. No offense, Pebble. I think most people glow and be freak others out.
Well, it seems she could come in. I think she can control it, right?
Yeah, I can turn it off.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you hesitated there.
I'm not sure if I can turn it off. I've never tried.
Well, there
But
you go.
what if you don't turn it on in the first place?
Yeah, then I won't glow.
Well, that works. Come on. It's gonna kind of start going towards it direction.
Yeah, let's go. And as we're approaching, Grix is going to look between Dawn and Verlin and just say, I think you two would probably be the most qualified to talk to someone like the Dryad.
It would probably be best if I entered separately from the rest of you.
Alright, so we let our big Verlin go in first, then we come in after.
At least that way I can claim to have different business in case you all get thrown out.
Oh, Verlin, do you think we'll get thrown out?
And he'll just walk into the shop.
I'll
Pretty
look up to Daniel
sure,
and just,
yes.
yeah, he'll just nod in agreement with Pebble.
I'm normally pretty good with folks, but apparently people around here don't seem to like me much.
We're a larger group of people going into a shady establishment asking for illegally sold object.
I suppose, but damn it. Alright, he'll just kind of stay off the corner so he's out of sight of the windows, kind of wait.
All right, so Verlin, as you enter into this little tower here, the first thing that hits you as you walk in is it is very strong and somewhat unpleasant odor in here. You kind of get a combination of things that you recognize, so you do get sort of the herbs and the medicinal items that you would sort of expect from an apothecary. You also get a distinct smell of like rotting flesh, and you see who you assume is the Dryad as well, and you kind of get the smell of bo as well. Although you assume that she probably doesn't leave this place very often. You can see that she's a, I guess the best way to like, if you kind of think of your stereotypical sort of voodoo type of person here. So she has this sort of white paint on her face. She looks like she doesn't get out much. The other thing you notice about the tower itself is that it's actually quite small when you get in here. It's probably only about 15 feet by 15 feet. So one of the things you notice as you walk in is that uh, you probably wouldn't all even be able to stand in here at the same time, at least very comfortably. You'd all be sort of like mashed up against each other. And all along this sort of circular walls, you can see that there are shelves that are stacked all the way up to the ceiling, and you can see that there's a ladder that's going up because as you were outside, you can see that this appeared to be 3 stories because you can see windows in each little section. So you can see that there aren't stairs because this is not big enough for stairs. So it's actually just a ladder that's going straight up. And you can see that surrounding the entire room here are these massive shelves. The other thing that kind of strikes you is that there is a small cage that appear to have a number of rats in it. And as you enter, the dryad herself appears to be in some sort of like meditation, and does not seem to register your presence. She's sort of staring straight ahead with her eyes open, but you kind of recognize that she's not like there, so to speak.
Well, before I head up to her, without moving, can I just glance around to see if I see the stone? I doubt it, but can I glance?
Yeah.
Well, that probably should have been investigation, but
Well, I mean, it's all
it would have been
Kinda.
+5 on that, but it doesn't matter.
doesn't really matter. I mean, a quick glance would be more of a perception than investigation. Investigation would be more like taking your time looking through things. But you notice a few items that you think might be magical, but you think they're probably what you notice are like potions and stuff. That you don't see any gems of any kind.
If that's the case, I'll just walk straight up to her, and I'm looking for the owner of this establishment.
And as you do that, it's kind of a creepy sort of look, because as she was sort of looking ahead, and it kind of like she's sitting down, so she's almost basically like looking at your stomach as you say that. But her eyes sort of like they have kind of a milky look to them right now, and as you speak, they sort of clear up a little bit. And she looks up at you and says, "I'm the owner."
I'll just pull out a list with different herbs and ingredients what I'd need for potions. I'm looking to acquire these ingredients.
She grabs the list and looks it over for a little bit and says, "Should be no problem." She gets up and starts. Behind her, there's a small little table, and she starts, preparing certain things and grabbing like a mortar and pestle and starts like grinding up some of the herbs and stuff that you would need.
Is this the only business you do here? Is this the only apothecary I've found so far?
The only one in this district.
So is it just herbs and potions, or do you do anything else?
What did you have in mind?
Well,
She's an elf, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that, but she's an elf.
people like me tend to get in danger and require arcane assistance. Do you have anything lying around that could be useful?
She kind of just looks you over a little bit and says, I don't believe we've met before, have we?
No, I'm new in town. But if you don't ask, you don't find.
I may be able to acquire a few things, but I would need more specifics about what you're looking for.
I'm currently in the market for some magical gems. Maybe one that looks like an eye.
And you can see that, like, when you mention that, one of her eyebrows kind of raises a little bit. Curious. And she just keeps preparing the herbs on your list.
Maybe like the one Krelden has just delivered.
Creighton, or it's just like said Krillin.
Yeah, Krelden.
And she sort of just looks at you and goes, "Friend of yours, is he?"
More like thief of mine.
And she hands you the stuff that she's been preparing for you and tells you that will be 2 gold.
I'll hand it over.
And then says, "And so, how much would you be interested in purchasing, or how much would you want to purchase this item for?"
The question is, how much do you value it for? Because I very much doubt the little cretin knew exactly what he was stealing.
Seems likely that he didn't. But for an item such as this, probably let it go for about 1,000 gold.
Well, unfortunately, I do not have that type of coin.
Well, if you happen to come by it, it might still be here.
Is there anything you would require in trade instead?
She kind of thinks for a minute and says, "No, I'm not. I think I might enjoy keeping it for myself, in fact."
Very well. Pleasure doing business with you. And he'll head out.
Okay.
I'm purposely going to ignore the people outside of the shop and walk out of view of the shop.
Was he in there for more than 10 minutes?
Probably, yeah, for her to
Okay.
prepare all the.
All right. So I wouldn't know if he left with the object or not. I'm gonna kind of just look to everyone and just say, "Well, do we go in now?"
I would like to see what information Verlon had gotten before
We
going in.
avoid the windows. You should probably go around.
And Verlon walks out and past you all.
And just as a sort of like, so there are windows on each floor, but there are only windows in the front. So like again, this is it's a relatively small tower, and essentially the front of it has each floor has a window in the center of the tower, and then the surrounding area kind of butts up against the building, and so there's no windows on the side or the back because the back of it is actually up against the building. So
Wiz, the spell, did it directly say it was in the building, or did it say it was kind of
Well,
pinging
Matt, it did last 10 minutes as we were walking closer. Did it seem like it was inside the building?
I'm kind of imagining like a radar thing going on here, but
but that's not how the spell works. It works more like a compass than a radar. So you would know that it's in a certain direction. So it is facing the direction of the
Okay.
of the tower, but technically it could be
It's within 1,000 feet.
Yeah, it could be 1,000 feet past the tower as well.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but I guess if it's like a compass, as you like circle around the building, you would see the needle.
But
Yes,
we
yes,
got here and I kind of just stood still.
Yeah.
Well,
so if you
but-
did that, it went around in a circle. You could tell. You could pinpoint.
What I mean though is, like, could you cast it down the street and it pointed in a direction, and then as we come up to the front of the store, like, how drastic is the pointer change? You know what I mean?
They
Yeah, I
go
mean,
from northwest to north. Yeah, yeah.
it would also be if you walked past it in the other direction, you could see that if it was in the tower, it would turn the other way. So I mean, essentially, you could triangulate it by walking in various directions, but it didn't sound like you did that.
Yeah, I'll look at everyone and I'll just say, well, I just know that it was in this direction. He's going to point the same direction again and just say, it could have been anywhere within 1,000 feet in that direction. It doesn't tell me exactly where it is.
So yeah, I'll just turn around to Dawn and I'm guessing a trailing Daniel. It appears she does have the gem.
All right, that's good, but judging from the look on your face, it ain't great.
How much is she expecting for it?
Well, unfortunately, I tried to purchase it, but I don't have a spare 1,000 gold.
Yeah, he's gonna hyperventilate a little bit, like, oh god, what?
And I would say that probably well, maybe not Pebble, but most of the rest of you would probably have a pretty good idea that for a magical item, 1,000 gold isn't necessarily like insane. And you would also assume, at least Dawn in particular would know that if you're a fence, you're jacking up the price on anything, obviously.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's going to be a lot of money from Daniel's perspective. It's like, holy shit.
So as far as she's concerned, I'm just a customer as I purchased some ingredients. So if anyone else wishes to go in and attempt to purchase or obtain, I will have to remain out of sight.
Well, here's the thing: if we got someone else coming in and asking for the gem, she's gonna bloody know, I imagine.
What if we ask Quinn to pay for it?
I don't think that man has 2 silvers rubbed together, let alone 1,000 gold.
And if we think, how much is Moira paying us for this?
520.
We can
It would
make
be a
Moira pay for it.
Then it wouldn't be us retrieving it, so we wouldn't get paid.
Well, I don't want to buy it for 1,000 gold.
He kind of looks like he's gonna say something, and then just like lets out a bit of a sigh and just kind of looks down.
Is this a situation where we steal it?
Well, I wouldn't rush to that conclusion. The inside of the apothecary is not very accommodating to a lot of people, and it's ladders up and down, no stairs.
And it would be quite risky if she never leaves.
Well, I suppose.
I can watch her.
Is there
to
like
see when she goes to sleep?
It appears she just goes into a trance.
Yes, but during that, she may. It is a tower. She may live above it.
So is there like a back entrance to the place? Not like a fire exit necessarily, but
Windows, at least.
Mm.
Did it when we were there, Matt? Did it look like the windows actually opened, or were they just for light?
They looked mostly like they would just be there for light.
Okay.
And based on the smell, that
Yeah,
Verline, it didn't. It probably doesn't get. It's not very well ventilated.
I'll look to Dawn. And I'll just say, if I can determine if there's no magical protection on the place, do you think that would be something you could get into?
I could certainly try.
Someone can distract her.
But it would help to know the location of the object.
Well, maybe me and you can go in and I can talk to the woman, and you could browse the items and see if you see it. or perhaps maybe someone else. Maybe not me.
Dan's gonna think about it. It's like, what floor is she on right now, Vern?
The ground floor.
Ground floor. It looks kind of Caden for a second. It's like, well, him and me could distract and duke it out. Maybe break a couple of windows. I imagine she's going to come out and raise all kinds of hell, if not try to kill us. So during that time period, why don't we have our Dawn go inside and take a look?
Before we go that route, why don't we see if there's some sort of service we could offer in exchange for the gem?
I have already offered.
A trade or a service?
Trade, or is there anything she would require? The answer was no.
Daniel kind of puts his arms out like, well, anybody got a better idea? But he's like, Caden could punch me through a window, she'll come running, or I could punch him. Either way, get something going.
Yeah, we can have team distract and team go inside and steal the thing.
Ah, I like that.
Well, I think Dawn would be the only one on the second team.
No, you would go on the team too.
I do not know the location.
Yeah, that's why you're on the team too. And she looks at Grix, all smiles.
Wait, I'm going in.
Yeah, you're gonna go help Dawn get the item because she doesn't know where it is, obviously.
He kind of looks up at her with like scared shitless eyes and just says, "Yeah."
She can carry you.
Now that I would love to see. He gives like a big grin.
Sure.
But here's the thing. I guess now that I think about it, looks at Verl. It's like you might want to fight him because you're the bigger guy. Maybe put your whatever you bought in his hand. You start fighting outside. I'll be the one trying to break you up and cause a big mess.
I would prefer to be against that, due to the fact of she has ingredients that I use.
Well, that's fine. How? I guess we put Verlin as lookout as well. That's something we want to do. Got one team doing distraction, making a big mess. Got the other one going inside.
The only fair is if she doesn't come outside, there's no guarantee she will.
That's why I said. He points at him, then he points at Caden as his either or. And he goes, somebody's head is going through that front window, and I imagine she don't want that kind of mess on her property.
Yes, but it's also very effective to just go outside and call the guards, but don't seem to be too many of them here, so maybe it's our best bet.
All right. He's gonna kind of roll his shoulders, kind of look at Caden and said, "Who's gonna be doing the punching? You or me?"
Which team am I on?
Ooh.
She does like to punch things.
Honestly, I put her on team 2 because if she glows, if there's anything nearby, then you've automatically got a good point in.
Well,
but then again, we will be inside an apothecary, so she'll probably glow a lot.
She did have some magical potions on the shelves.
Oh, all right. So Pebble will stay with us, and she'll try to break us up. How about that?
Perhaps if it looks like one of you are beating up on a child, she'll be more likely to intervene.
Oh man, I wouldn't have the heart for that. No offense, Phil, but I wouldn't want to punch a child.
I'm not that young. I'd survive.
Oh, how about we have Pebble beat us up, kid?
What?
She could beat you up. I would enjoy watching that.
Oh, you're a heartless bastard, but God love you.
It also, not very familiar, but you're quite obviously a follower of Kelmvor. I don't know how likely it is to see them getting into street brawls.
I could say that the treatment he put on the kids kind of get this weird little like this very pouty face. My baby sister, she didn't get cured of her disease. It's the whole rotten speech. I'd be a mad older brother just beating the shit out of a bad healer. I don't know.
Phelan's just going to look at Don. They're all idiots.
Hey, now you speak up more.
I chuckle.
2 people going, others cause a distraction. You don't need a backstory for a fight.
I suppose. That's what I said, preacher. Who's going to first punching?
I'd be interested to see where this goes.
Oh, there you go. We got a good party. We got a plan. Let's raise a little hell, huh?
I'm gonna look to I'll actually look at at Caden and just say, if we're in there, I can talk to you in your head and you could answer back. If we need help, that's how I'll let you know.
That sounds great. Good job, Grix.
He looks like he's gonna fucking puke.
Daniel's gonna give like his half-smoked cigar, kind of wipe a little bit like the filter on trench coat. Goes, take a drag of this. And so it'll help calm you a little bit.
No, I don't smoke.
Trust me. If we're doing this, you're gonna have to.
No, I'm fine. No worries.
Dan's gonna give him this look like, really?
And he kind of just like shakes it off, looks up at Dawn and says, well, perhaps we could go wait over by the side, or should we be inside when they start the fight?
I suggest we wait by the side, perhaps look for a back door.
All right, then let's go.
All right, reconnaissance first, then stop beating the shit out of each other, kid.
Yeah, let us know when the fight can start.
And I just follow you. You're in lead completely.
I'm going to go around the side to the back of the tower and look for a back door.
I am going to try to be extremely careful. I'm not the best at stealth, but I'm going to try.
You do have an inspiration
14?
die.
14? I'll take a 14 because I could definitely roll a lot worse.
Ooh. Oh, Don,
you have an inspiration die?
You can re-roll that.
Yeah, I'll use an inspiration die.
Roll again. Holy
Thank
hell.
God.
So do an investigation check as well.
Oh, I'm not good at this.
Can I give her advantage by assisting her?
By the way, wait, Grix, did you use your inspiration die already? Yeah?
No.
All right, so I'm gonna pass my inspiration die. I can't do this. I'm gonna pass my inspiration die to Dawn.
Wait, question. Doesn't Grix have the thing where he rolls the 220s?
Oh yeah, it's portent.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. This is a new die. I thought I still had my other two. All right. Okay, so I got an 18 and a 4.
I've got advantage selected on my sheet, but it's not coming out as it.
No, that's what the little green circle means.
Oh.
If you want it to roll twice, if you could click on the little cogwheel and right underneath your character name and go all the way over to the right, and at the bottom part there's going to be roll 2 legacy, and that'll always make it roll 2 for you.
Oh, okay, got it.
If you just do advantage, it just rolls it once.
No, it looks like it's rolling it twice and then just
And then
showing
it
the
picks
higher
highest
number.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the roll of legacy just makes it easier,
Yeah.
particularly during combat, just so that you know. So, regardless, I mean, both of those rolls, if they, there does not appear to be any side or back entrances. The back end of the tower actually butts up against a building, so there really isn't a back. So it's just the sides, and they appear to be solid. The tower itself, however, it looks kind of like somewhat makeshift. So there's a building behind it that is made of stone, and this entire tower appears to be made out of wood. So this was not an original part of the original construction. It looks like this is sort of just tacked on to the outside of this other building. And the other building appears to be just like a residence. It's shorter than the tower, so it's about 2 stories, made of stone. But from what you can tell, I mean, it doesn't look like it's any kind of business. It looks like it might have a few like apartments in it.
Hmm.
But from best you can tell, it doesn't look like there is any back doors, and it doesn't look like this tower has any sort of exits into the building behind it. It looks like, again, this is just sort of like built up. Oh, it's almost like the stone building was sort of used as a support to keep the tower up.
Right. Okay. I return to the others and say, looks like there's only one way in, which makes it riskier.
Better be riskier
We'll have
than
to
not.
draw her
There.
completely out.
Grix is going to kind of look and just say, "Well, if we're able to get it, I have a way to get away pretty quickly."
That's why you're on team 2, I think.
Yes, that would be useful. Hopefully, the hardest part will be sneaking in behind her as she gets distracted.
I don't think anybody wants their shop destroyed, so I imagine once we start getting that in, she'll come running or calling the guards or something.
If she's in a trance, do you think that I turned to Dawn? Do you think that you might be able to bind her before she comes to?
I'm not quite sure about elves, but I'm under the impression that trance isn't quite the same as a sleep. Are elves still aware of their surroundings and their senses during a trance?
I don't think any of us are elf.
There might
Would
be a
anyone
history check or
know?
nature check or something.
Yep.
19 for the elf trance thing, because that's a good question. Matt?
I'm sorry, I was reading about trance just because I didn't know off the top of my head.
Oh.
I think it's still aware.
I think it's a light sleep, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
like mental reflexes, yeah.
I mean, there isn't anything. It says yeah, I mean, like the rules as don't really specify uh, specifically.
I mean, honestly, just the way I read it, I like if you would normally give someone disadvantage for perception while they're sleeping, like you would give them regular roll. It really doesn't give you much to work with.
Well, but I guess the question is, if one of us was an elf and on night duty, and we just tranced, what would it be if people tried to sneak up on it? Would we be at disadvantage? Would we make a normal perception check?
I believe
it-
for all intents and purposes, there's nothing that specifically states that they're inherently more aware than they would be if they were actually than like a human was if they were asleep. Like it doesn't give them the advantage. I think for the most part, it's not trance is not designed specifically to give advantage to an elf. It's more of a flavor thing by just sort of like showing the differences and how cool elves are basically, and that they don't need that full rest. But for all intents and purposes, like, because otherwise it would be like, oh, if everybody is resting and somebody's staying up on watch, the elves would have a significant advantage over everybody else if trance gave them some sort of like, oh, I'm asleep and I get the effects of a full rest, but I'm also wide awake at the same time. Like, so
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
would
saw them
say
as
Yeah,
like
that's
more
what I'm getting at.
sensitive to stuff. Like maybe if you touched a tranced elf, they are more likely to feel it than
yeah,
someone
I would say that, yeah, I think that's a good, is that they would,
Light
if
sleep.
Retain some
yeah,
kind
a
of
light sleep.
sensory awareness.
They might possibly, like, if you roll really badly on a stealth roll, they say like a 15 would wake somebody up out of a sleep, but maybe like a 13 would wake an elf out of a trance, or I'm sorry, a 17 would wake an elf out of a trance, right? Like, they might be slightly more sensitive, but I wouldn't make it anything drastic.
yeah, I kind of read it as like semi-conscious. So if someone's concentrating on something, they can become distracted or not quite aware, but it's not asleep. So just a distracted
Yeah, they're
person.
not-
Yeah. Like they're focusing on their dream or whatever they're having, you would think.
Yeah, so probably they would be a little bit more sensitive than someone who than a human being or any other race that was just asleep, but I won't make it
Not wide
dramatically
awake.
right. So you would still be able to, for all intents and purposes, you would still be able to sneak around them, and they wouldn't just obviously like see you or anything like that.
Would we even need the distraction? I look to Daniel. Dawn, do you think you might be able to steal the item while she's in her trance?
That would depend. I'm not too familiar with elves.
Also,
Perhaps it would be less risky if she was distracted.
take into account that she's no longer in trance.
But I'll say Verlon, because you are from Aricania, you would be very familiar with elves. So do like I guess a nature check, and do it with advantage.
14.
In your experience with elves, obviously just the same as anybody else, um, you would have elves that are night owls and things like that. But I mean, in general, they're not nocturnal beings. So in the evenings, they would probably be in a trance. Whether or not you don't know if she was in a trance because she was just doing something on purpose when you walked in, or if she was in trance from the day before. But you would know that for the most part, they keep the same schedules as everybody else, and that if you wanted to sneak in, you would probably be, without causing a distraction, it would probably be a good idea to just wait until evening to do so. It would be likely, at the very least, that she would just be in a trance / sleeping like anybody else would.
So we could also wait till nightfall. They do have the same sleep schedules as us.
Yeah, but then we've already got 2 days on the drain. You don't know what could happen in that time. Well, like day and a quarter, pardon me.
Well, as it stands, if you go ahead with this plan, I plan myself to remain out of sight.
That's why I say we could use you as a lookout.
How upset at Moira do you think Hugo is?
Does it really
Like,
matter?
well, do you think he would be mad enough at Moira to purchase the gem?
For 1,000 gold? Not to mention we got the guild charter. He wasn't even willing to pay us that much.
I'm not saying we have to return it to him, but we would be making an enemy of him.
We're probably best trying to not make things more complicated than they need to be.
The easiest thing seems to be waiting until night to go sneak in. I wouldn't mind fighting something, though.
Here's the thing: even if we went at night, we still need maybe Grix and Dawn at best.
Yeah. And then we can do lookout, and if she gets awake, then
You punch
we
her.
punch her.
Common sense says just cover your face if I go on that, but well, like I said, we can't seem to make up our minds for the sake of sanity. So, daytime, folks, kind of raises his own hand.
Nighttime. Pebble raises hers.
Yep.
All right, all right. Nighttime it is.
The gnomes beat you.
Yeah. Fine, laugh it up. He's gonna kind of ruffle Pebbles there.
And I'm gonna kind of walk up to Dawn and like kind of like motion for her to come down so I could talk to her quiet.
All right, I squat.
He's gonna look at her and just say, the schooling that I did with the kind of magics, I can be sure that you're very stealthy next time you have to be.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Think of it as I just trust me.
It's okay. You don't have to explain it.
Good, because I honestly can't.
I just nod and then stand up again.
All right, what do we do
So-
until nightfall then?
Before we take off, can I go into the apothecary and purchase things?
Yep.
As he goes in, I'm gonna just say, make sure you could look where the gem is, so you could tell Dawn.
So I will step into the apothecary.
Okay.
What is the Dryad currently doing? Did she return to her trance? Is she preparing stuff?
As you enter, you don't even see her.
Okay. So I'll wait to see if she returns, and while I'm waiting, I just kind of want to peruse the herbs and medicines and stuff that she has around, taking particular note of anything that I guess my intention is to try to talk to her about things that only very knowledgeable people would know, in an attempt to try to get on her good side.
So I guess depending on what you're looking for, I mean, you could do like a medicine or an arcana check.
That also gets +3
Holy
for
shit!
my kit.
You have a +6 to wisdom.
No, I have a +5. I
+6,
have
yeah,
expertise.
Yeah, I see.
in-
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Nice. So yeah, you do recognize that there are a number of herbs and poultices that would be used like you would use in a healer's kit, and you also do notice a few potions that you would recognize as potions of healing. None of them seem particularly powerful, but you do recognize that that's what they are. And I mean, are you making any attempt to like let her know that you're in the place? Because it doesn't. Because again, this isn't like a regular shop, so there's no like bell on the door or anything when you walk in.
So I would give her probably like 10 minutes or so as I'm just browsing through the items, probably making a list of things to purchase for myself. And I guess I don't know how you would feel about me trying to make sedatives, as in like medicinal sedative.
Oh, like sleeping darts.
Not necessarily sleeping darts, but just like I guess the guise would be of like something you might give to somebody before you perform some sort of surgery to kind of knock them out.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, there would be there are probably some herbs and stuff that would um, facilitate that type of thing, but they're probably
Okay.
a bit dangerous because they might kill you if you don't use them properly. But
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that's fine. And yeah, I'll give her like 10 minutes or so before I try to make myself known somehow.
so eventually, you do see her actually. She comes down the ladder from what you're assuming is not sure exactly which floor it may be, um, but from one of the floors above. Um, and she comes down. She doesn't seem particularly like surprised or annoyed or anything that you're there. She just sort of kind of looks at you, sort of like with these sort of uninterested sort of look on her face, and she just kind of like gives the impression she's just waiting for you to say something.
I will take out a piece of paper and a pen and just sort of write down the things that I noticed in her shop that I would like to purchase, uh, and then hand her the.
So, is there anything specifically that you would be wanting to get? Because I mean, for the most part, you could get, you know, the stuff that would be in a healer's kit, and then obviously like a healing potion itself, like a basic healing potion would be there. So I mean, just so that I know how much she should tell you that you owe her.
How much is a basic healing potion? I don't know if I
50,
have that much gold on me.
50.
Yeah, I don't. I don't have that much gold on me. So it would mostly, I guess, just be stuff for a healer's kit. But while she's preparing things, I would try to strike up a conversation with her about some of the uh, rare herbs that she has around, and try to impress her with my knowledge in a way to kind of get on her good side.
Um, she doesn't seem particularly talkative. Um, she does perk up a little bit when you start trying to discuss, what you could use to essentially knock somebody out. So things like valerian root um, has a sedative-like effect, um, which is the thing that she has the most of. But of course, like most things, if you use it improperly, it could kill somebody. Same thing with like um, Valerian Root and Nightshade being the most dangerous thing that you could possibly use in that regard. It would work, but done improperly, and it may just kill you outright. So, but those are the two things that she mentions is Nightshade and Valerian Root. Valerian Root being slightly less effective, but slightly less dangerous. Nightshade being significantly more effective and significantly.
Okay. Um. Damn. Is anything that like? Does it look like she's working on anything behind the counter?
No, I mean like it's she doesn't appear to be too much of an experimenter. Like you don't see any. Um, I mean, it looks like she has things, and then she's able to make potions and stuff. But you don't get the impression that she's um, doing anything that is unique in any way. Like so, I mean, she looks like a regular apothecary from that in that regard. Like she's got the tools to make things that are out there, but she doesn't appear to be doing anything unique or interesting in that sense.
Okay. Then I would just, try to continue idle chatter until she finished with my order.
And it would probably be about 5 gold for all the things that you would be.
Okay, and then
requesting.
I will hand her 5 gold, and as I'm paying her, I will ask. By the way, I'm looking for ways to make some spare coin. Do you have any opportunities? Are you looking for any assistance?
And you can see that she kind of her eyes narrow a little bit. No. Perhaps if you continue to be a customer of mine, we might be able to discuss something further, but I don't have jobs for people I don't know.
Fair enough. If I pick up some herbs while I'm outside the city, are you someone that I can sell them to?
If they're of good quality.
I'll just smile and complete the order and head out.
And as you're heading out to you're kind of you kind of smirk to yourself too, because when she says that as long as the items that you would want to sell her are of good quality, looking around, even though what she made seems pretty good, like you could see that some of the ingredients that she had in there were not of the greatest quality. So
So her standards are low.
yeah, I mean, like it's definitely not the nicest set of uh, remedies that you've ever seen. So
Okay.
and certainly, most certainly not the cleanliest uh, apothecary you've ever seen. You're kind of wondering if anything that you bought might be might be a little bit tainted by other things, right? So like if you buy a candy bar and it says like may contain peanut products, like that's the kind of thing that would be on anything that she sold you, is it may contain residue from something
Right,
else.
yeah. It may have been tossed in the same bucket as all these other herbs and
Exactly. So like the mortal and pestle, when she's like grinding stuff up, she's not really. She might kind of like blow in it to like get some of the stuff out of there and then just fill it up with something else. So yeah.
okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to inquire about the gem or anything at this point. I was mostly just trying to make a good impression.
And I mean, both you and Verlon would recognize. I mean, the Dryad, she seems like a very strange woman. So it's kind of hard to judge whether or not she has a positive or negative impression. She's just weird. Um,
Yeah.
Kind of like people who play D&D.
exactly. Bunch of weirdos.
Well, that's why, like, I was trying to find, like, kind of like a collector. If somebody collects paintings and then someone comes in and starts like speaking intelligently about their collection, I feel like they would kind of jump on it as an opportunity to speak. That was the intention.
Yeah, and in based on, um, and actually just retroactively do an insight check real quick. Okay.
20.
Yeah, so I would say I wouldn't go so far as to say that like the whole pharmacy aspect is a front, but you kind of get the idea that based on, like I said, like the materials that she has and the way that she was going about her business, it doesn't strike you as that she cares that much about it all. So given that what you know that she acts as a fence, you kind of get the idea that maybe that's what she's more interested in than, and this is sort of well, I can't obviously just go about saying that I'm a fence, so I have to have some sort of front, and this kind of makes you think that it's not that she's necessarily bad at this, And you kind of get the impression that maybe at one point this was what she did, but now it sort of seems to be more of almost like she's doing it out of habit and doing it as a way to dissuade sort of interest in her other activities.
Okay.
But before you guys decide what you're going to, because it's still pretty early in the morning and you have a while to go, so just before you guys decide what you would like to do next, let's take a quick break because I'm going to go grab a drink.
All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll get some breakfast.
That's what I was kind of. That's kind of in character. Dan was kind of worried because you don't know if there's I don't say a time limit on this job, but I imagine it wouldn't be too reflective on the guild if we took too long either.
I mean, but it's always the case of it's better to have a solid plan than an overcomplicated plan.
That is very true.
Because the more parts of a plan there are, the more chance of it going sideways.
Yeah, but if we go in here and see there's not even a gem in here, we're still looking for that damn thief. I will be right back. Sure. I'm back. Got the one leg, so thank God for half pass.
Well, if things go sideways, yes, we're probably going to end up fighting a hag in the middle of a city-state.
She's an elf. She's not a hag.
Well, I mean, would you consider a 500-year-old elf a hag? A human probably would.
So, Matt, just as an aside, I guess I wasn't really thinking about using sedatives as a poison, but would I be able to, or does that fall under the poisoner's kit and all that stuff?
I mean, if you could get somebody to take enough of it, it probably could. I mean, because that's really all that. I mean, any kind of medicine can be a poison, right? Like aspirin can be a poison.
I mean, I could probably make like sleeping potions or stuff for you.
Well, but I mean, like I can use an herbalist kit and stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm getting at is, can I make sedatives with Nightshade for the intent of like knocking people out, like unwilling people?
I mean, if you can, you could certainly could make it. Whether or not you can convince them to take it, is a different scenario. But you could certainly attempt to make it. Probably do
Okay.
a skill check on it to see if
It's
how
effective.
good it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know I've got alchemy supplies, so like I said, I could also help with that endeavor if needed.
That's why I said we got 2 alchemists and 2 tinkers. This is kind of funny.
I mean, I kind of need alchemy to make mutagens.
Yeah, so I mean, I've seen this list before. I'm trying to. I don't know if they have something for knocking people out in here. Do they?
Nope, there isn't, because same thing with the darts. That was like a 3.5 thing, but 5e is never described any sort of poison or anything that would make somebody unconscious.
I mean, it's not just that. Look, just rendering people unconscious is a pain in the ass. Look at the last game where we got like one guy restrained, hand over his mouth, trying to choke him out in a headlock. Takes like 4 rounds and still doesn't do it.
Yeah,
To be fair, each round is what, like 3 or 6 seconds.
6
Like
seconds.
6 seconds, yeah.
But just in general, like trying to put someone to sleep physically is a pain in the ass.
I mean, the only surefire way to do it in 5e is to specifically get a killing blow, but say I'm doing it non-lethally. So that's the only sort of 5e rule that says I've knocked them unconscious. Whereas if like you were, because you can specifically state I'm going to attack them, but I'm not trying to kill them. So then if you happen to get the quote unquote killing blow, but have stated beforehand that you're purposely not trying to kill them, then that would knock them out, because you're essentially knocking them unconscious by doing that.
Death by 1,000 cuts. Butter knife cuts.
Because I mean, one of the first games I ever played in 5e, we had a rogue who was purposely his whole idea was that he was like a combat medic, so he was would stealth in between combat rounds, and then he would run and try and heal people with the healer's kit. And so anytime that he was attacking somebody, he specifically always said, I'm doing it non-lethally, I don't want to kill anybody.
I mean, that's a cool concept.
That's interesting.
It was a very cool concept, actually. Unfortunately, the healer's kit rules are kind of crap, so he was never going to be a particularly effective medic. But there are other like homebrew like doctor backgrounds and stuff that would assist with that if anybody chose to do it. But it was pretty cool because it was the idea that he was running around trying to keep everybody alive, and then when people were fighting, he would use his turn to heal, and then as a rogue, I'm gonna hide. That was my action. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He was useless for combat, obviously, because he never attacked anybody unless he was being attacked himself. But it was a cool idea.
All right, we have Vix back. Hello, Vix.
Hello.
So, you guys do have a number of hours now.
I think Don mentioned wanting to try to get like something to cover our faces with. Yeah.
So more than likely at this point, you guys would probably want to make your way out of the warehouse district and go to like the market.
The markets, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the markets have basically everything that you could essentially want at any point.
We could also take this time to go talk to Quinn, get his opinion.
I got plenty of time for that. Yeah.
I'll probably spend some time in the market district. No harm in looking around.
Before we fully leave, I want to do that locate object again and take a walk around the the tower. Real quick, Matt, would it tell me if it was like above me? Like if I got close enough to where it would be like on the second or third floor, I would be able to tell?
Roll it again.
All right.
I'll also talk to Grix. Should we leave your familiar nearby so it can track anyone that comes in and out in case somebody purchases the item?
Yeah, we can do that. I can make sure that if he sees any male halflings, he could come and let me know.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that it says in the direction. So I mean, It appears to be above you.
Okay, so I don't think it would be like, just judging by the ankle, would it be probably not on the first floor?
Yeah, I mean, you guys didn't see it in there, and based on the
Okay.
angle, it doesn't look like it would be. I mean,
Okay.
everything. Being a gnome, a lot of things are above you, so it
Yeah, that's why I was like, I mean, it might just be on a shelf. All right. I will walk back up, follow Dawn a bit, and relay that information that it is most likely on at least the second floor. It's definitely not on the base level.
All right.
So
Out of character, how many floors are there?
I think it was 3.
3.
based on what
Okay.
you could see, it looks like 3. Yeah.
But yeah, he'll look at her and say, "So I don't know exactly how many doors you'll have to open and whatnot, but if she's in a trance in the same room that the thing is, that's gonna be quite scary."
Yes, it will be, won't it? And I look at him.
He kind of just looks at her like he really does look nauseous, and he just nods and tries to hide it a bit.
I'm sure you'll do good, Grix, and she slaps his back.
He like falls forward a little bit and just like winces. And, yeah, no problem.
All right, so the market district it is first, then up to Quinn after. Then we'll figure it out from there. Huh?
Can I'm gonna look to everyone and just say, I'm gonna stay here. I don't really have anything I need to do, and if I can sit down and rest for a little bit, I'll be able to regain some of my abilities.
Are you sure, Grix?
I'm just gonna sit on the street.
I can find he like looking around. Are there any sort of like food carts or anything like that around? Like, is there anything that you could do that won't make you look weird just sitting around in the warehouse district?
In the warehouse district, probably not. In the market
Okay.
district, it would be.
Okay, then yeah, I'll the first one I can find, I'll just sit down there, relax, and take a short rest.
Before you go, Grix, do you? So, I've seen other people with magic able to speak to the fates, so to speak, and try to glean a path forward. Is that something you're able to do?
Not at this time. I mostly study divination, so I don't really have much practical experience. I mostly just read, so I'm still learning.
So out of character, I'm just not sure. I mean, I know the clerics have access to augury in their spell list.
I was just about to type that in chat.
Is that something that I would know and be able to mention to Grix specifically?
I think you would know that you could use it as a spell. You just don't have it prepared, most likely.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
clerics and paladins get access to all the spells. You don't have you know them all. You just have to have them prepared.
Okay, then I'll sort of ask Grix. Are you able to perform augury, or do you have the tools to do it?
I don't think I can. I believe that's a more divine spell than.
Huh. Okay.
But doesn't divination mean seeing the future?
Not only the future. For example, right now I could look into the Dryad's shop from where we are. I can locate objects. I can do other things like that too.
So why don't you look
Identify.
in the shop and find the item, and then you don't have to go inside?
Well, I can do that. But I just
You
I
do want to secretly go inside.
oh no I most likely don't. But
You don't
I
need to be shy. You want some glory.
no. I'd much rather stay alive and safe. But if this is what needs to be done, I will. I honestly didn't think of it. I was too busy trying to find a safe way in rather than finding where the object actually is.
Of course, of course. And she gives a very dramatic wink.
He kind of looks at everyone and says, "Well, then perhaps that's what I'll do while you all do your chores. I can take a look in and perhaps if it's not covered or hidden in some drawer, if it's laying out somewhere, I'll be able to see it."
You know what'll be super spooky?
No.
If she looks straight at you while you're looking in the shop.
He kind of just looks around. And he whoever is sitting close or standing close to him, it doesn't matter who it is. He just looks at. Why would she say that?
She's purposely messing with you. Get it together.
It's working.
Oh, and I actually, the complete aside here. I had meant to do this last time, and then I was trying to remind myself, and then of course I forgot until just now. Everybody roll a d100.
Oh, we're getting our.
I like to give everybody trinkets, so everybody roll a d100 because I don't.
I feel like we're gonna explode.
No, it's
Did I
just
win?
random stuff we get.
This is just random stuff that you get just for fun, just to see if maybe you want to do something with it later.
Damn
Like
it,
we can come up
Dawn.
with the story behind it. But okay, so Verlon, you have an old key.
What?
That's yep. No, I take that back. I take that back. I looked at the wrong one. That was not for 50. You have a whistle made from gold-colored wood.
Why
Very
is the
useful.
image of Verlon whistling a whistle just the funniest?
All right, so here I will. So
Probably because he looked like he was in a terrible mood while doing it.
all right, so Pebble, you have. You have this, a brass orb etched with strange runes.
Ooh, mysterious.
Caden, you have an ancient arrow of elven design.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
I mean, I've already thought of a purpose for the whistle.
Oh god, this is great. This is perfect for Grix. Grix, you have a vest with 100 tiny pockets.
That is now his wardrobe. That is what he is wearing.
100 of them. Tiny little pockets on a vest. This is not a cloak. This is a vest
Mhm.
with 100 tiny pockets.
That's 100 places to put components.
Uh-huh.
Or 100 pieces of folded paper.
Then they'd
Daniel,
have to
you
go
have
to,
the best one so far, a candle that can't be lit.
What?
I like the image of him like sitting at a tavern at night, like trying to light it with his lighter. Just like one day I'm gonna get this.
I think Daniel will be more curious about it from a technical perspective. Like, why the fuck will this work? But yeah, that's fine.
And Dawn has an empty wine bottle bearing a pretty label that says The Wizard of Wine's Winery.
Okay. Sure.
An empty wine bottle that's got a very pretty.
So
That's not,
if you'd like, if you want to make it a little bit easier to carry, I'll say that if you want, you can take the label off and throw the empty wine bottle away if you want.
As fun as carrying an empty wine bottle around would be.
Well, you could use it instead of a water skin. Just saying.
Also, she could trip and fall and smash it.
Also,
I
it
mean,
is
like-
a improvised shank if you ever need it.
That's true.
Or club someone
Um,
over the back of the head.
Yeah, I'll probably just have the label. I don't know why she would keep an empty wine bottle.
Yeah, I thought that's kind of weird. So that was it. I just wanted to give everybody random trinkets.
Okay. So then during this new downtime, I would try to purchase something to use for augury, preferably something in the form of like the scales for Kelemvor.
I
How
mean,
much
you
would-
could probably find some from some scales there. You wouldn't be able to find too many that were really small. So you mean they'd be kind of large to be carrying around.
Then I'll look for some other stuff. I'll figure it out and get back
I
to
mean,
you.
one of the things that you could do, because I mean, like the augury spell, like you can use it, like because it says by casting gem inlaid sticks or rolling dragon bones or
Yeah.
laying out ornate cards. Like you could probably find some bones because if you because Kellenbor's symbol is the skeletal hand, so you could conceivably find some bones to roll, which would be kind of in the same sort of theme as Kellenbor.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
So I mean, it probably would cost. I mean,
Well, it's 25 gold worth, is what it says.
yeah. So I'm sure you could find the stuff you would want for that.
Yeah, I'll send you a message, but I have my serious doubts whether I'll find these items.
And while everyone's doing that, I'll probably go up and look for like mask or shawls, scarves to purchase for the group.
Whenever you run into Grix again, he is going to have a very poorly cut piece from his cloak wrapped around his face.
Oh. Just to be quick, so while you're looking at Rob's stuff, because I imagine it's a pretty long list.
That's
I'd like
nice.
to, yeah, just 10 gold pieces of worth of Tinker's equipment, Tinker's resources. There you go.
Yep, that's easy enough to get.
Yep.
Would it be possible for me to buy enough for like 2 cups of a calming tea, like the ingredients for a calming tea?
I mean, I have Valyrian root.
Yeah, that would be good for tea.
Yeah, I'd ask Caden, do you have any of that Valyrian root spare?
Sure.
Thank you. Would you like anything for it?
Nah, just next time you pick some up, grab a little extra.
Understood. Thank you. Yeah, I'd probably make a tea for Grix before he sets off.
You guys are
And,
acting like he's nervous or something.
Can I attempt to make a sedative with Nightshade at this point?
Yeah, do a medicine check.
Plus
Holy
3.
shit!
And yet I'm oddly proud. Nice job.
Well, that's the thing is like when I roll medicine with the herbalist kit, it's like plus 14. It's ridiculous. It's like I went tall on that tower.
See, for some reason, I'm just getting the idea it's going to be Verlin and Caden just going, yes, science!
Verlin, the second item that you were looking for would not be available. The first one you could probably requisition somebody to make you, but you're looking minimum of 500 gold pieces.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, that's in the range, so...
Which is funny because if you that same item actually exists in Pathfinder, and the Pathfinder book, it's a good thing we're not playing Pathfinder because that's 12,000 gold in Pathfinder.
Yeah, I definitely don't have that lying around. But yeah, I can save up and get that requisitioned. At least I know a place where I can get that done now.
So, does anybody else have anything that they would be interested in trying to? I mean, none of you have a ton of money at the moment, so.
I got 6 gold pieces left.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna attempt to take a long rest so I can prepare different spells, but that's about it.
All right. I think we did want to talk to Quen, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably look to take the rest at the guild hall.
All right.
Yeah,
Pebble would just keep running around the market.
I'll probably stay at the market to keep an eye on Pebble and to prepare a tea for Grix.
Grix is gonna walk back within 1 mile of the tower, and I am going to go ahead and cast, like, get out somewhere, try to hide in like a little corner or something, and I'm going to cast clairvoyance to look at the what I would like assume maybe like 10 feet above the first floor of the tower. So hopefully into the second floor.
I think I've ever seen clairvoyance used. Let's see.
That's actually quite a unique way to use the spell.
Yeah.
Wait, what was it he's trying to do? He's just trying to spy into the third floor of the tower, right?
Just scout out the second floor, see if they left a gem lying around somewhere. Highly doubt it. I guarantee it's probably hidden somewhere, but worth a shot.
Well, at least it's not behind metal. You know that, or it wouldn't have you wouldn't have been able to locate it, right? Or
No.
lead, I should say.
Yeah, it's got to be certain materials. So,
So
I'm
you said you're
just
looking at this. You're looking at the second floor.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna try to look in the second floor and just look where the door comes up. Like try to just get a basic layout of everything. See, like try to see if there's a bed in there. Does it look like this is where she sleeps or rests or anything like that? Just kind of like get a layout of the second floor.
So it's relatively sparse. You can see in the center of the. I didn't mention this when you guys were in the first floor, but it's. I mentioned it was 15 by 15, but essentially in the center of the tower, both first and second floor, there's a giant wooden like pillar. So that's essentially what's partially holding up the tower itself. So you can see that up as you would be coming up the ladder, essentially to the second floor.
So there's no like door going to it. It's just you go up a ladder.
Yeah, there's a
Okay.
ladder, and then you can see that there are a few crates, and then there is a hammock that is actually stretched from one side of the room to the other. So it's basically just pinned up against each wall. So it's probably almost 10 15 feet across. It's sort of like on the edge, so it's not the full width of the towers. It's not in the center of the tower, but it's pretty long, and you can see that it's just basically like a hammock where you assume that she rests. And you can see that I guess it allows you to like look around, not just so if you look up, you can see that there does appear to be an opening to the floor above. However, unlike from the first floor to the second floor, where there's just an obvious ladder and an opening. So like if you were on the first floor and you stood next to the ladder, you could look up and you could see because there's no like
Okay.
closure. It's just up, and then but to the third floor, it looks like almost like an attic. So you can see there's like a door, and then you can see on the door it looks like there are stairs or like the little ladder, like on a regular like on an attic where if you pull down, you can see that there's like a retractable like
Okay.
ladder that comes down. So basically, that's what you see from this. So there's not an opening to the third floor. It's a hatch essentially.
Am I able to see if there's any sort of lock mechanism on it?
It doesn't appear to be from what you can
Okay.
see, but
Okay.
and you can see that the room itself is similarly like the first floor. It's not well kept. It's kind of messy in there.
And just is there anything that looks like a chest or something that locks where they would hide something, or is it kind of just very, very open?
It's pretty open, and like I said, it's everything's pretty haphazard. So there could be some chests somewhere. There could be. I mean, you don't see anything obvious where like, hey, look, here's where I keep all my stuff.
Okay. All right. Then after I finish with that, I will go back to the marketplace, and I mean, he'll sit down, order a meal, like find a tavern, order a meal and everything, and just start resting. He'll take his long rest there instead of going back to the guild hall. Actually, I should say, do we have time for a long rest?
We have quite a few hours. Still kind of early daytime, isn't it?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, then yeah. All right.
And remember, it's also summer, so it's going to take a while for it to be dark.
Okay. All right.
All right, then we're just going to talk to Quen, yeah?
Yeah, also I typed in chat because I was looking for some masks and scarves and stuff. Since it's a pretty generic item, is it safe to say that I just get 6 scarves or masks? Shawls.
Yeah, it probably because again, I don't really want to get too into the. If you want, you can do 50 silver pieces, if you want to do that math.
That'd be 5 gold. Or do you mean 5 silver pieces?
Yeah, sorry.
You're doing it like it's 100 for each, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And to clarify, would you say I'd sooner find scarves or masks?
I mean, it depends on what you want. I mean, scarves would probably be less conspicuous, but if you wanted to find like actual masks, you could do that as well because there are like costume shops here that you could, you know.
Yeah, I'll probably just get scarves. So 5 silver pieces.
Or I mean, you could go all out and do the like masquerade ball masks. You could get those too.
Yeah, I was thinking something like that. Like, you know how people wear clown masks when they go rob a bank?
Yeah.
Uh,
Right, you want to make Grick shit himself.
So yeah, I mean, it depends on how you want to do it, right? So if you wanted to get scarves, you could essentially cover like your nose and then your lower half of your face, or you go and get like the masquerade masks, which would cover your eyes and not your mouth. So it's like which, or I mean, if you really wanted to, you get both and just cover your face entirely.
I would imagine that covering half of our face, the bottom half, would suffice.
Okay.
So for those of you that are wanting to go back to the guild hall and speak to Quinn,
Yep.
when you enter into the to Hemswick Hall, you can see that. Well, here I'll even though maybe you are not all there, I'm going to move everybody to the hall anyway.
Should be fun. Hey, boss man, you around?
So you can see that he is sitting at the table with Nyx and Bud. Ada, however, is not currently in the guild hall.
Dan's gonna flip off the cat as he comes in. He's gonna come down to the bench like, so his job kind of got a bit of a mess, boss man. We didn't botch it. We have plans, but it's a little awkward.
He just kind of nods at you like, this is to be expected.
So here's the thing: we got ways to take care of it, but let's just say that last Moira, kind of a shit. Firstly, and secondly, what she's wanting us to get is 1,000 gold pieces.
He just kind of looks confused, like,
She's wanting us to get a gem, but here's the thing: the thief that stole it, and she wanted that back. No harm there. But the thief might have fenced it, and the shop owner wants 1,000 gold pieces. So I guess, what's the charter say about, I don't know, busting in, going, "Hey, you stole this, give it back, you daft fuck." Anyway, what is there?
I mean, I don't think the charter gets that specific, but I mean, it seems like maybe just. I mean, I did ask if you had any issues with like stealing things. I don't think that. It's like, listen, the issue is that we don't have much of a reputation these days. We also don't really have a whole lot of jobs to pick from. So we're gonna kind of have to. We might have to break the rules a little bit. And he kind of puts his hand up before Nix can say anything, because you can tell that he was about to pipe up and say something about the fact of, like, breaking the rules of the guild charter. He's like, look, we at this point we have to deal with people that are a little bit uh, less than savory, I suppose, and that means that maybe we have to do some things that are maybe not entirely above board, um, just until we can kind of get things rolling, and maybe we can then at that point start, you know, being a little slightly more upstanding. But for now, we kind of have to do what we have to do, right?
And I get it. I get it. That's why I'm trying to clear it with you first. I don't personally mind, but it's kind of a. He kind of scratched his head. Well, do you know about the Dryad?
I've heard of her.
Well, she's got the damn thing, and well, I guess now that we got the okay on that subject, we're good to go on that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, just wanted to check on that. This guy kind of turned around, so he was kind of facing whoever else came with. Like, anybody else got any other questions? I just want to double check on that.
I had thought of suggesting that we raise the reward ask, considering the increased risk. This is far beyond what we agreed to.
Can agree on that.
Yeah, I mean, but we also and you can tell he's just not really sure, like, what to say. He's like, I think that, maybe we aren't also in a great position to sort of uh go back on things when we agreed to do something, and then go back and say, well, now if you want us to do it, we gotta charge more money, because if
Except
they
we never agreed to do this.
well, what did you agree to? You agreed to get what she wanted, right? For money, and
From Creighton.
Yeah,
Right.
but then the job kind of went sideways, and what went from Creighton went to the Dryad. That's kind of where we're at.
He's like, my concern is this, right? If we start going back and saying that we need more money, then they would just go to a guild that is already better than us. That, like the advantages that we have right now is that we can do things for cheap, right? Like, that's kind of the only thing we have to go on right now, is that, hey, look, you want something done, we'll do it for half the price of, the other guilds. That's kind of where we are right now. And I'm afraid if we go back and say, hey, look, we need more money, they'll just say, well, never mind, we'll just go somewhere else.
My suggestion for that concern would be for us to retrieve the gem, and then before we hand it over, request more payment due to the increased risks.
That'll be.
I mean, he's like, I think that's a good idea in theory. I just don't think that maybe we should push that too hard if they say no, because then we have an item that we, I guess, probably ended up stealing, and then we're stuck with it because we probably wouldn't want to sell it.
No, I'm not saying we have to push it or like hold it ransom. I don't think we should demand an ultimatum or have an ultimatum for it. Just suggest a higher payment once we retrieve the item.
I mean, it can't hurt. All the worst they can do is say no.
Yeah, we can do that. Honestly, if this job gets botched, I think we might have more trouble than that. But he kind of shrugs.
I mean, and that's kind of it's just the first thing that we're doing. So, Ada's done a few jobs here and there, but nothing to really boost our reputation too much. So I just want us to ideally get this one done so that we can hang it on our ledger here and say, hey, look, we accomplished this. Although if we're stealing things, maybe we don't want to tell everybody that we did it either. So I don't know.
I think, boss man, we might want to just put it like, hey, we did a job for this lady. That's all we should really leave it at. Yeah. All right. Well, he kind of scratches his head and says, "Well, I guess we're getting a nap in and going tonight and robbing a dryad." Yeah.
Good luck. Yeah.
By the way, boss man, since you're in charge, he's gonna give us big grin. If we get caught, I'm blaming you. Kind of walk up.
Oh,
To him.
and he kind of smiles like, if you get caught, I will disavow all of you.
Ah, but here's the thing: we already got our pins.
He's just kind of like, yeah.
All right. Daniel's settling for a long rest.
I will also go for a long rest. By the way, when we head out, maybe we should split up. Meet up somewhere near the apothecary before
Do
donning
that.
our disguises.
I mean, Verlon and the two gnomes aren't there for that plan.
Yeah, they're only here by in token form. They're not here in.
Well, that's fine, but I'll just mention to the people that are here, and then go to take my rest.
And I mean, like there are there are benches like where there are multiple benches, obviously, that you could technically for now, lay down on and sleep. They wouldn't be particularly comfortable, but
I got a bedroll. I'll
yeah, you
roll
could
that out on the
you could
bench.
roll a bedroll out onto a bench. It'd be better than sleeping on the ground.
Daniel's just hoboing it, arms behind his head, just leaning back on the bench. All right, I think that's assuming that the others don't come in and then take their rest. I think that'll be it for at least get starting nighttime stuff, huh?
Yeah, is there anything that the gnomes and Verlon wanted to do?
I was just planning on eating and resting. No, nothing else at all.
Yep, Pebble's just eating and just walking around the market, more browsing than buying anything.
Verlon would be same as Grix. It would be general resting, but I'd be making the tea for Grix and making my first mutagen of the campaign.
Hey,
So the mutagens only last a certain period of time, don't they?
They last a couple of short or long rests, then they run out of potency.
all right, so Mike better cover it, yeah.
Quick question: was I successful in the nightshade sedative?
With the 27, yeah.
Okay.
I think you had to roll a little higher.
Look, I just wanted to make sure,
The DC was 40, so
So I'll
It's-
make it when I'm level 20.
It's not a nat 20. It's not perfect. Sorry.
yeah, with a 27, you're pretty confident that it would be, you could use it without killing somebody by accident.
Okay. And then I guess how much is it that they have to consume? Is it like a glass of water? Or is it just like
I mean, I would think of it like as something like kind of like what Verlon was saying. Like, so you could put it in a tea. So like basically, like 8 to 12 ounces they would have to drink with it in there, and it would make them sleepy.
okay?
Yeah, I mean, like it would be obviously it'd be stronger than what Verlon was making as something as sort of like something that's just going to put you to sleep. I mean, based on if I'm understanding correctly, I mean this would be something that would knock somebody out. I mean, closer to like something like anesthesia than just like, oh, I'm sleepy now.
Yeah, not like sleepy time tea. Like
Yeah, Valerian root would be more for the I want to go to sleep, and Nightshade would be more like I want somebody to be unconscious.
okay. Then I'm done until we head over.
Is it Mission Impossible time yet?
It is time, I guess.
I prefer Pink
Alright.
Panther.
Oh, dude, yes, yes.
Yeah,
All
when-
right.
Okay, we should
when
have the theme playing while we're
Yeah, I
doing
know. I need to get that in roll 20. I need to get the.
Dun 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 dun. dun. Yeah.
Everybody go to YouTube and pull up the Pink Panther theme. So you guys do get to the outskirts of the apothecary there, and at this time of night, in this general area, you don't see too many people. I mean, probably maybe once every 10 minutes or so, as you're walking, you would see somebody sort of walk past, and they don't appear to be, it's not anyone patrolling. They're just going about their business or whatever. So if you guys want to kind of not walk all together, because I mean, like, obviously 6 people walking in a group anywhere is somewhat suspicious.
I'll walk off, I guess, with Dawn, since we're the ones going in together.
Before we separate, I'll hand everyone one of the scarves that I purchased.
Oi, make sure you take your pins off, yeah?
Oh, that's smart. She takes hers off.
You can put it in one of your 100 tiny pockets.
Well, Grix doesn't. He kind of looks up at you with a completely uneven cut piece of cloth across his face and just says, "This will work."
That's adorable.
That works perfect.
All right, if you say so.
And when he does turn around, you see it's just cut off the bottom of his clothes.
Okay, so all separate ways in. Either going around or through or otherwise, yeah.
I call Archie down, and I put him. I have him land on Pebble's shoulder, and I just say, if you stay within 100 feet of us when we're in the tower, if there's anything that goes wrong, I could have him put a nibble on your shoulder a bit, and you'll know.
Okay.
So I assume this is a relatively small owl, given that you're also a gnome, because
Yeah.
it's not like a
yeah.
barn owl, which would be like the
No,
size
no.
of your head.
I mean, I would assume picture.
Have you ever
like,
seen Hoot?
Picture like a full-grown owl, just the size of a baby owl.
Because I'm just thinking, I had this image of this just like massive owl landing on
It could
Pebble's
just
head.
dig its talons into me and fly me away.
There you go. That's adorable.
Yeah, and then once we regroup near the apothecary, I would like to try to cast augury.
So basically, GM, is this a dumbass idea?
Well, it's horribly backfire on us.
Let me.
I mean, that's all augury is. It's a case of, is this a good idea? Yes or no? Oh, sorry.
Or is it
wheel,
kind of a
wheel or
yeah,
woe?
wheel and woe, yeah. I mean, even if we don't find anything here, we probably still get some shit out of this place. But I prefer to get what we came for, yeah.
I guess it's more just trying to foresee any problems down the road in terms of, like, are we going to have people hunting us down after this?
Oh, I love that last one.
It kind of, I guess also mainly I'm just trying to suss out how strong the Dryad is before we break into her shop and try to steal items from her. I imagine she has some level of power if she's still in business.
This is the thing I don't like about some of these spells is they just leave it so vague as to like.
Well, I mean, with augury, it seems pretty cut and dry, doesn't it?
So I guess what I'm trying to find out is, so I would ask, how good of an idea it is to try to rob the Dryad, with the intention of trying to figure out if we could take her in a fight.
Or just get the stone.
Well, I'm assuming that everything
He
goes
has to be
to
kind of
hell,
specific.
and yeah, I'm assuming everything goes to hell. In the worst case, we have to fight her, and I'm wondering if we can fight her, or if things go bad, if we just immediately have to leave.
So if you were specifically trying to determine if things go bad and you have to fight her, would that be a good or a bad thing?
Yes. Well,
Uh,
a good and a bad thing being are our chances of beating her in a fight good or bad? Not just her, but fighting her inside of the shop where there might be other things that pop up.
She's a giant octopus in her freezer.
Well, I'm just saying there might be traps or
I know, just teasing.
alarms or things.
I mean, if you're specifically asking if you think that it would be you would be able to beat her in a fight, if the results of that if the results of combat with her would result in you defeating her, the it would your odds would be good that you could probably the 6 of you could probably defeat her
So that'd be a wheel then.
for that specific thing.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just throw that in there, Matt, just to fuck with us a little bit more.
Yes. Well, I mean, like, there are a lot of other extenuating circumstances about that. Like, if you're just saying, can we, would it be a good thing for us to, or would our outcome be good if we attacked her? And if you're looking
If
to
it's just
see,
her, and if it's this, and yeah.
or
Well, but
yeah,
I guess what I'm
if I
saying though is
defeated her,
like I'm assuming I can't just be like, is there a chance like which outcome can we expect for trying to steal from the Dryad? That kind of leaves it too open in the sense that like we don't know how we're gonna do on stealth rolls and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. Like, so I didn't want to make it that complicated. I mostly like I'm assuming if everyone does well on their rolls, stealing it's fine. But if people do badly, we're gonna end up fighting this person.
Yeah, Dawn be on point for that. That's why I gave her my inspiration die, like just in case.
I
Well, I
honestly
mean-
think the way you asked it the first time was perfect. Like
Yeah.
for
Well, I think
what
it's-
you were trying to
because you-
get.
and it says the spell doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as the casting of additional spells or loss or gain of companion. Therefore, also I take that into mean that like crappy rolls. But like,
If we're all fighting her, all 6 of us, we have a good shot.
yes,
And
Okay.
that's like just her. That's not saying if she has friends or that.
Well, no,
It's like
I'm
well,
trying to say, like,
and
if
more
combat
specifically,
erupts in there, what are like can we survive combat and do what we need to do is what I'm getting at.
yeah, and like, and the reason I'm saying for that because obviously the repercussions of that
Yeah, like
could be very different. But specifically, if you all attack her, would you feel confident in being successful? The outcome of that would be good. Yes, the wheel that you would likely defeat her.
yeah, and I mean just so I'm assuming in character that attacking her would lead to repercussions because I imagine she's at least somebody that's connected in the underworld. Out of character, I feel like asking that question. First off, I don't know how a GM would be able to answer that accurately in terms of how far
GM
down the
would,
road
yeah.
we can look. Yeah.
Well, let's use like the deck of many things. So that one card, the Vizier. I don't think you get like a straight answer anyway.
Yeah.
Well, one way or
Well, I
another.
mean, like as just, I mean, as a specific example. I mean, because they're saying like you're saying the results of a specific action. So you could say, if we go in and steal this item, will it cause further repercussions for us in a good or bad way in the future? And I feel like that's like that's like something that you could get an answer on if you ask that in that way. Like, if we do this, will it cause bad things to happen later on? Like, that seems like
Okay. So yeah, so the way I see it is if we get caught, we're gonna have to deal with the repercussions of fucking with a connected person. I'm more concerned on whether or not we can survive an
The
altercation with the person.
Yes.
Yes.
and
So
the results of that are good. Yes, you would probably she would be unlikely that she would kill you all.
Turns out she's just a 1 HP NPC and we're thinking too much.
She's got commoner stats.
All right, so I imagine we're right in front of the building, though. Yeah, like imagine like the door's locked. Yeah.
For those of you that are attempting to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, Grix would as we're all like splitting up and stuff, he would look and just say, I don't think anyone should be extremely close, but perhaps maybe in the shadows, maybe like 20 to 25 feet away.
Okay. And Pebble just walks to like a alley across the street.
I'll take our long way around.
And as we all split, I'm gonna look up to Dawn and say, I can make sure that you're rather quiet. Or since I have to go in, I can make sure I'm quiet. What would you prefer?
Probably worry about yourself.
Okay. And I will go ahead and use my first port. Well, yeah. Once we're getting closer, like me and her on our own, use my first port to make myself roll an 18, so I'll have a 19 total for self.
So before I split from you guys, I would touch you both on the shoulder and say, "May Kellamvor guide your path," and I will cast guidance on both of them.
I don't think you could do both. I think it's
Well,
isn't it concentration?
I don't think it's concentration.
Nope. Augury's not concentration. It's just
No,
No,
I'm
guidance.
saying he can't have guidance
Oh,
on two different
I
people at
got you. I
once.
got you. Yeah.
No, I don't think guidance
It's
is
not
concentration.
concentration. Yeah,
Oh shit, it's not.
Cantrip.
Well,
No.
hold on, because I entered the stats. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, guidance is a concentration spell for a minute.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
okay. So then
So-
I'll cast
Give
it.
it to her.
Okay, I'll cast it.
All
on
I have to
Dawn.
do is be quiet, and I kind of got myself covered.
If Pebble's hanging outside, Daniel's gonna kind of take off his trench coat. Like, this thing's gonna be all kinds of heavy. Would you mind taking care of this, Pebble? He's gonna kind of fold up his trench coat, and kind of hand it to her. It's got like the chainmail on it.
Sure. Does it have the gun too?
No, I'll keep the gun on me.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's got the trench coat's got the chainmail in it, which would be pretty damn yeah.
Pebble's not very strong though.
No,
Give
she's
her a
not.
big old heavy coat with chainmail on it.
Yeah, it's gonna kind of fold up very neatly. It's like if you gotta sit it down, then I understand, but figure just keep it close.
Yeah, she sets it down and sits on it.
Yeah, he still got his gun with him. Just a matter of that probably is not a good idea to be going in with disadvantage on stealth.
Yeah, I would probably be wearing some sort of cloak or something different than what I walked into the shop with earlier. I think I have a set of traveler's clothes.
Villa will be outside, but he's not going in unless shit kicks off.
Yeah, make
Yeah,
a lot
same.
of noise if you need me in there.
That's what the owl
we'll let you know.
If I have to use my gun, the whole damn neighborhood will hear it.
Don't use the gun then.
You get my point, Pebble? He's gonna kind of ruffle her hair again.
Or I can use the gun like 2 streets that way.
No. All right, let's just get this going. Yeah, he's gonna put his scarf on.
All right. So I will, like I said, I'll use my portent for myself. So I have a 19 in stealth, and I just look up to Dawn, and I just say, "I'll be behind you."
Oh shit!
Oh wait, Daniel was going with them.
I think he was trying to hide outside.
Yeah, I was trying to hide outside, but it's like that's not great either. I mean, it makes like a boom outside. It's like, well, shit.
He trips over like some garbage cans and makes a bunch of noise.
He's gonna hide in the alleyway, just keep out of sight. Like, well, fuck that.
Maybe she'll just think it's a druggie.
I mean, even at this time of night, though, I mean, like it's not like, I mean, you're in a warehouse district, so which is close to the manufacturing district as well. So like loud noises and stuff. I mean, it's not like it's a dead, quiet street where like any kind of noise is gonna like alert people to something. Something crazy must be happening. It's like you're in a warehouse district. I mean, like there's gonna be loud noises from time to time, and you're not most of the time they're not gonna think too much of it.
Data's gonna kind of get his nervous look around and go, meow.
Villa's just gonna stare at you, idiot.
He's gonna flip him off.
I'll also shake my head in disappointment.
Look, I'm a tinkerer. Give me a break. But I gotta stay here now. So go on ahead.
So, as if you're getting to the door, which is again the only entrance there, the door is currently locked.
Alright, I'll try and jimmy it open. Well, actually, first, is there a way that we can tell if it's magically...
You can do an investigation check to see if it's trapped. And I guess
I do have detect magic if you want me to cast it.
or you could just have the glowing gnome try.
Yeah, nice little spotlight outside. Yeah, well, no, when we get up to closer to the door, I will cast detect magic because I was planning on doing it anyway since I want to be able to find what floor this thing is on. So I'm not gonna do it as a ritual spell.
So the door does not appear to be magical, but you see I just wanted to make sure. So the door's not 3 feet deep. So from where you are, you do notice that from behind the door on the first floor, you do see a number of magical items or
Okay.
things glowing. The door itself is not.
All right. I'll tug on the back of Dawn's cloak a little bit and just give her a thumbs up to and point to the door.
Okay. Then I'll jimmy it open with thieves' tools.
Damn.
There it is.
The door breaks silently.
There was never a lock to start with.
Yeah. So Dawn goes up, and you literally don't hear a single sound, and she just opens up the door, like it was nothing. Like she just, you can see her kind of like do something with the door, and then she just opens it within like a second, and it was just like, oh.
It's kind of a simple lock.
Yeah, I mean, like even with a natural 20, I mean, like she's not able to get the door doesn't even squeak. I mean, it opens up in complete and utter silence.
I just walk through it as if that happens every time.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow her, and I take a quick glance at the areas that I'm sensing magic coming from.
Potions.
Okay. All right. I'll tug on her cloak a little bit and point up. Do I sense anything directly above us, or would I not be able to tell? Like, is it 2 or 3 feet of wood?
I would say there's probably too. It's too thick at this point.
Okay. All right. So I'll point up the ladder and just like put my hands to the side of my head and like lay my head down like I'm sleeping to like motion that there's a bed up above us.
Okay. I'm gonna nod, but still continue up there because we know it's not on this floor, I would assume, and we don't really have a choice.
Yeah. The only magical stuff I see on this or sense on this floor are potions so far.
Alright, so we have no choice but to go up.
Are we able to are we able to speak to the bird and have Grix hear us?
I have to kind of like go into a trance myself, like sit down and I can't hear or see in my own body. I would only be able to see through the owl.
Okay, never mind.
So do another stealth check up the ladder, I guess.
So remember, you get that inspiration die if you need it.
All right. I'm gonna follow her up as well. I'm using my inspiration.
Yeah, I'll use my inspiration this time.
I mean, it's better.
Okay.
Yeah, it averages out, right?
Grix is a little nervous. You know.
Yeah.
Well, her perception check was terrible to see you guys anyway, so you're good.
Holy shit.
I will pass my inspiration to Grix at this point.
I like we got the teamwork going on already. I love it.
So you get up to the second floor, and to your left, you can see the hammock, and you can see the dryad who is lying in it. And then to your right, up above, you see the hatch to the attic. Currently, how long does detect magic last? 10 minutes?
10 minutes, yeah.
She appears to have some magical items on her.
Alright.
Best you can tell, though, it's her necklace is magic, and she has some rings on that are magic. But that's all that you can see. You don't see anything else in this room that appear to be magic either. It's just her necklace and rings.
Okay. I will again just tug a little bit or try to, and just point up again.
Okay, so there's nothing else on this room, you said? On this level, I mean.
Unless you want to try to steal a ring off her finger.
No. I think I'm good.
That's what
Not
friends
yet.
are for.
That's on the way out.
So the next, I guess, do another stealth check to see if you can get this ladder down without making a whole lot of noise.
Ooh,
That's just
this
her,
is
right?
tough.
Not me.
Well, yeah, only one of you would be able to pull it. so
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And I don't think Grix is tall enough.
that's
True.
also true.
All right, Pebble passes her and died to Dawn, so that's good.
I'm going to use guidance for this.
Oh, 1d4?
And
17.
and Matt, I do not know how you're doing it. If you're just doing this passive perception or whatnot, but if she's rolling a perception, I'm going to go ahead and make her roll a 4.
Okay, well, I was rolling, yes.
Okay, then I will make her roll a 4 plus whatever she has. But that is my last portent.
Which is good because she would have found that, because you rolled a 17 and I rolled an 18 on my perception actually.
Oh, nice job.
All right. So now Grix is officially useless in here.
He's just now dead weight.
Mhm.
Well, he's pointing out
Not really,
magic
he's got
items.
detect magic.
Yeah.
So you do get the ladder down, and as you do so, the first thing that as you pull it down, you sort of you noticed it as well. I didn't mention it. I mentioned it when Verlon went in initially, but the smell of rotting flesh and meat is coming from the third floor, because as soon as you pull that down, it hits you right in the face.
Oh god. That's not good. Not a good sign.
So you guys
So-
gonna go up the ladder?
Ooh.
Follow
mean,
her.
I'm like
Oh,
holding the scarf close.
So you
kind
have
of
the scar, so
dragging
that helps a
past the
little
smell.
bit.
Yeah, they both have like a patch. Like one's got a patchwork, one's got like a proper.
Oh fuck! Is this bitch building undead in there?
Yeah, amazing. Look alive.
So, Grix, you have dark vision, right?
Yes.
Um, so you guys can see it is even though it was dark on the second floor as well, but you can see that the window to the third floor is covered, so there's no external light coming in. But you do see a magic item up here, but you also see multiple dead bodies, and also not just of humanoids, but you see there are dead animals up here as well. Some of all in varying degrees of decay at this point.
Does it look like they were like harvested for organs or something, or does it look like she just killed shit and threw it up in her attic?
Maybe an insight check. I would think.
Yeah, well, not really. I do an intelligence check, I guess, to see like.
Yeah,
what
I think you
kind
should have
of
asked,
determine.
do these people like been cut up for food?
Oh god, if it's a cannibal, we'd have all legal rights to go in there and just kill her. It's at some point.
At a quick glance, I would say you can see that it does look like these creatures have been gutted. So you would assume that it is being used for organ harvesting and things like that. It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't. They don't look. I mean, it's difficult to tell the how they died, but it doesn't look like this is just like I'm murdering people in my attic and then leaving them to
It's
rot.
not like a serial killer's trophy or anything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
like they're the bodies are kind of laying around haphazardly. It is odd that she's just letting this stuff sit up here. Um, but the freshest body that you see is of a halfling who has the item that is glowing.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
All
We
right.
didn't know this. Woo-hoo.
I'm gonna look to Dawn, and I'm gonna point and just like motion for myself, and then point to her like, and put up my hands like, who's going?
I suppose I'll go forward.
Yeah, I'll just lay my like point my finger directly towards the body, and like I'll pat on myself like where it is, like if it's in like a pouch on his side or if it's in a pocket on his cloak.
It does appear to be like an inside pocket of his jacket.
Okay. So yeah, that's where I would pat and just keep pointing at it.
Okay. I'm going to go over to where that dead halfling is. Does he appear to be for sure dead? Like, is he gutted?
He's not gutted. He at this point he looks like he has been killed quite recently. And you can see that the only his throat is cut, so it looks like you can see how this guy was killed because his body is fresh enough, and he hasn't been gutted. So he's still wearing his clothing and everything. So like it doesn't look like this looks like it's been done relatively recently, and whether or not she just hasn't had time to do whatever she was going to do with it, because he still has all of his stuff on him as well.
Okay. First things first, I'm going to get the gem, and then can I look to see what other stuff he's got?
Yeah. I guess just do a quick investigation check. See the. So
No.
going through quickly, because and again, and you're distracted by the smell and just kind of like wanting to get the hell out of here. You are able to grab what Grix pointed to, and as you get it in your hand, it's kind of heavy. It's about a pound. It actually is like it's not like your what you maybe would have been imagining in a gym. I mean, it's like a big like circular like stone that has been perfectly rounded. So I mean, it really is like this big eye that's sitting in your hand. It definitely has some weight to it. And just quickly going through, you can see he's got maybe about 5 gold pieces on him. He's got a couple of daggers. They don't just regular daggers. They don't seem like there's anything special on them. And that's about all that you can kind of decipher as you're going through quickly.
Alright, I'll take the 5 gold.
Okay.
And head back to Grix. Kind of just show him the gem.
He'll nod and then point back down, like, and mouth the word, "Are you ready?"
I nod.
All right, let's try to get out of here.
Are we walking back down, or is there like a way that you
I
can
mean,
get us out here?
Nope.
I think there's the one way back out.
Yep. You got to go
I thought-
back the way you came.
Can you blink?
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought Grix said he has a way.
Well,
to, like, get us
if
out of
we
here.
get to, well, no, I have a way to get myself out. I can, if I can see out the window, I can Misty Step.
All right, let's go back down then.
So then the next question is, as you're going down, and I'll let you guys get down there relatively easily, but do you want to push
Sorry.
put the ladder back up so that it doesn't look like you were there?
If I don't know if Dawn is even going to try to do it, but if she does, I just try to stop her and like shake my head. No,
I don't think Dawn would do that because it's gonna be obvious. She's gonna know that the gem was stolen anyway. It's not like it's gonna go unnoticed.
Okay.
So,
So then just do one more stealth check to get out. I'll let you get just one more to get downstairs and out.
Oh, thank God.
And you both have inspiration. Just saying.
Yeah, Pebble pass yours to Dawn, so that's good.
Alright, I'm gonna use it.
Come on. Yes!
Keep going.
All right. So you guys are able to make your way out.
On the way out, are there any of the magical item potions like just sitting out anywhere?
Yeah, there are a couple.
Whatever
of healing
one's
potions.
closest to the way out, I just grab it on my way out.
Okay, so you have a regular healing potion then.
Okay.
Hey.
And I like once we're out, I don't look back at Dawn or anything. I just walk straight towards where everyone else was hiding. And as I'm like maybe halfway there, like maybe like 15, 20 feet away from the front door, you just see him bend over, pull his mask up, and puke.
Dan's gonna poke his head out like, fucking hell, Grix. Kind of a not nervous, kind of.
To be honest, I'm surprised he didn't puke sooner, considering what we saw up there.
Not too nervous?
Smelled.
Smelled?
And he
What?
just pukes again.
Maybe we should move away from this place for you to continue doing that.
Yeah, I think we best probably do that.
He's just like nods and has it dripping down his chin and just puts the mask back down.
Gross.
All
What
right.
was in there was worse.
Oof, let's get out of here first, then we'll worry about that later.
We could go to one of the taverns in the merchant district, so we will be closer to Moira tomorrow.
Yeah, let's just get out of here. Come on. He's gonna. I mean, I know Grix is a little sick, but it's not meant to be demeaning. But Daniel's gonna kind of pick him up, and at least to get him like, because you just threw up. You're gonna be you're a little shaky, a little queasy. So he's gonna kind of pick him up.
He. I mean, I'm sure you can either way, but he's gonna try to push you off.
Look. I ain't trying to get fresh or nothing, but you just threw up, man. I know how that is. I had hangovers. Come on, let's just go.
I can walk. We can go now. And he kind of like just starts trying to walk quickly in the direction of the merchants or the market.
All right, he's
You
gonna put
can
him back
try
this. All right.
carrying me.
He's gonna look at Pebble. It's like, fuck it, we go this far. Why not? He's gonna try to pick her up.
Yep. She loves him.
All right, he's gonna kind of hold her, kind of like a child on his shoulder too. Got a reflex, but he's gonna run either way.
Yeah. I'll lead us to, I guess, the tavern I was already in earlier that day. And like before I walk in, I'm gonna use prestidigitation to clean myself up a little bit, and then we'll go in, all get rooms and stuff, and we'll just like I'll look to everyone and say, do we want to go up to one of the rooms to talk, or do we want to stay downstairs?
Upstairs.
All right. Yep. His dad's gonna kind of look worriedly at Grix, but he's gonna, upstairs.
Yep. Then let's head on up to one of the rooms.
So I mean, how rooms? 2 gold per room. So I don't know how many rooms you want to get.
I have 3 gold left on my character sheet, so I will get my own room.
I can share with someone.
I could pay for a few people. It depends on if people are paying for themselves.
You could
You
pay
can
for
also
me.
share rooms. I mean, like you can get rooms that have multiple beds in them. So
I can share rooms. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pebble hops off of Daniel and heads off and moves towards Verlin.
I'll pay 2 gold and Villain and Pebble can share a room.
All right. Pay 2 gold here just for my own room.
I'm fine to share a room.
All right, you can go with me, Dawn. I swear I don't smoke.
I nod.
All right.
I look to Kate and I say, I have one already if you just want to share. I also smell like vomit, so I can understand if you don't.
It's all right. I've been around worse. I appreciate the offer.
yeah, because I mean, most of the rooms that you would get would already have 2. Whether you get them for yourself or not, most of them would have 2 beds in them anyway. So
Okay. Yeah. And as soon as we all sit down and in one of the rooms, Grix kind of just looks at all of them and says, she was harvesting dead bodies.
For what?
Well, That explains the stench of death.
Yeah. She. Yeah. It was a lot of them, and it kind of looked like Creighton was the latest one who wasn't harvested yet.
Dan's gonna kind of lean back and rub his forehead. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna ask for more money for after that one because no one said nothing about no organ harvesting.
Well, I mean, in theory, probably not the people, but like for an apothecary to be harvesting, like teeth, and because I mean, you think of like especially like in Eastern medicine where you're using like the teeth of it's ground tiger claw and like all those kind of things.
Oh
like
no, I meant less like that.
Yeah.
More, she's got him in her fucking attic.
Yeah, I mean, so that part's weird. That I mean, the idea of harvesting.
If they were in
stuff isn't
jars,
weird.
Grix would have been fine with it. But seeing
Yeah.
the dead bodies and shit, he's
Yeah,
having no
well,
part of
and
it.
especially because like you would not have you're not harvesting halflings for pharmacy purposes either. So
Did you see any magic circles or anything like that while you were up there?
I was sensing all magical objects around. I sensed the gem and some potions downstairs. By the way, here, if anyone wants this, I don't want to take anything from that shop. And he just holds up.
If no one else will say anything, Daniel will take it.
It'll heal you slightly.
I assume this is the first time you've seen a dead body.
I've been to funerals before, but it's the first time I've smelled a rotting one.
Here, and Verlon will pour out the tea he made earlier. It's cold, but
Will
drink
this
it.
put me to sleep?
Just drink it.
Well, I'd rather talk first and then sleep afterwards. So
It
if
won't
it's gonna
make you sleep.
okay, thank you. And he just starts sipping on it.
It'll calm you.
yeah, and it does. It would calm you down a little bit. It would settle your stomach as well a little.
Okay. Yeah. Dawn, have you ever come across anyone like that before?
I just nod.
Yes, you're not. Damn. Okay.
Well, did you?
He looks scared shitless again.
People.
Alright,
like
well,
that.
Not quite harvested in that way.
Yes, people will do most things to make money, including deal with death.
Right.
You can see by killing the halfling, she avoided paying for the gem.
Business and pleasure.
Verlin, when you mentioned the gem in Creighton's name, did she seem surprised at all? Like perhaps she didn't know he had a magical object on him?
Was that the case, Matt, or is it more of a case of how does he already know?
All right, sorry, say it again.
Was it a case of when I asked about the gem? Was it more how does he already know, or oh, I didn't actually know he had that?
I think it would be more about wondering how you knew.
No, she was more surprised that someone knew already.
Which also makes it very dangerous now that it's gone, because you came and asked about it and now it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a difference between conjecture and proof.
Well,
In the
For
law,
somebody who-
yes. And some crazy
Yeah.
old woman who's cutting bodies up in
for
her
somebody who's
big
hiding
cabin.
bodies in her attic, that might be a little different.
So now that we have the gem, can we try to figure out what it does? What is
I
so
can
special
tell
about it?
you exactly what it does if you give me some time.
I can glow beside it.
Would you mind doing that quickly, just so I can see?
I want to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would I be able to have a quick look at it? Just not to obviously identify the exact what it is, but does it look like an artifact or anything in particular?
I mean, just looking at the way that it appears, it has a again, it weighs about a pound, and it fits in your fit. I mean, it's like fist sized. Um, and it's got this black slit that sort of bisects the middle of the gem, making it look like a real sort of spherical eagle eye. But yeah, I mean that's what it looks like from the outside, just its appearance. It does look like an eagle's eye. It's kind of creepy.
Fair enough.
Dan's gonna look at Pebble and go, "Hey, check out the lamp."
Grix like just had his hand out towards Dawn for the gem to identify it, but his hand just dropped and he's just staring at Pebble.
Yeah, lights flashing.
Well, that's new.
Yep. Can't exactly light up a cave real well, not that I need to, but ta-da!
What school of magic is that, Grix?
Orange.
That ain't don't proper answer my question, but
Well, she's not wrong.
no.
So wait, you choose the color you glow, or does it glow based on the item?
It glows based on the school, so I can choose orange for whatever the school is.
Okay, gotcha. So, all right, so yeah, when I'm identifying it, I'll be able to tell you what school orange means to you. So yeah, I'll like kind of shake my head a little bit and look at Dawn and say, may I see the gem, please? I can tell everyone what it is.
I reach down and plop the gem into his hand.
All right. And he just kind of looks around and says, I'm gonna need a little bit longer than 10 minutes. I'll be right here. And he just goes off into the corner a little bit and pulls out a sheet of paper and starts like drawing shapes and stuff on it. And I will ritually cast Identify. And if anyone is wondering why I only have 1 gold, it's because I had a lot of spell components to buy worth 100 gold each.
Oh shit.
Well, I suppose this potion is going to go to waste now.
Do we? It ain't my first body either, but do we tell someone about that? I mean, she's got body fanatic.
No. If you start telling people, then she knows who's been there.
That's fine, but
You can tell
well,
them.
it don't seem right just leave them there either.
Berlin's been in there and he asked about the gem, so he can tell them.
Our job was for the gem, not the dead bodies. That's not our jurisdiction.
I should have set the building on fire on the way out. Dan shakes his head and starts trying to light a cigarette.
Well, I can't agree with the morals behind what she's doing as long as she's not trying to create any undead or anything of that nature. There's really nothing that we could prompt a church to do.
And just so, because I was just looking through what all this stuff actually, what this thing does. So in fact, Pebble was orange and some other color that you picked, because it has multiple schools.
Orange and
Oh,
pink.
So it is. I already lost track of where I put it.
It's okay.
It's divination and enchantment.
Okay.
Or the 2 schools that it is emanating. So what this eagle eye gem does, the aura itself is mostly enchantment. It's a faint sort of aura of enchantment. With you get a little bit of the divination sort of popping in here and there, but it's not the strongest part of it. So what this does, is that it allows the person using it once per day. This eagle eye can dominate birds as though using a dominate beast spell, and this is applicable to any type of bird. So this is from a tiny creature to the largest creature. It's all birds.
So that's how she got her birds to follow us.
So once per day, it can essentially cast Dominate Beast. So that spell on any bird. In addition, 3 times per day total, the wearer of the or user of this can also cast one of the following spells on birds: Animal Friendship, Animal Messenger, and Speak with Animals. In addition to that, however, this item would require attunement. If the person who is attuning to the item doesn't take an hour each day to reattune to the item, the eye will cause all birds within 50 feet to act as if they are under the confusion spell.
Okay.
So if you want to attune to it, you have to attune to it every day for an hour at least.
Yeah. I kind of, when I'm done, I kind of look up and I just say, well, this is how she had the crows follow us. And I'll just list off everything that it does.
Daniel raised his eyebrows like, wait, if she had that, then how is she doing all the birds that were following us the other day?
Huh, he must have stolen it from her that morning after she used it.
And if for whatever reason you all decide to keep this item, I will make it an item that in Roll20 that you guys can, so that you can remember all that stuff if you plan on keeping it.
I don't think we need a bird caller.
You've already got a whistle, yeah.
We should finish the contract.
Can agree on that. Definitely asking more money.
So, is there anything else that you want to do this evening before you go and meet Moira in the morning?
Not I.
Nope.
Grix is gonna just go downstairs and order like a pitcher of just water, and go back upstairs and just clean out his clothes and stuff from the puke and just hang them out the window.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if this inn has like a
Like a
shared
bathing area?
bathtub. Yeah.
There are, most inns here wouldn't have. I mean, they would have like water basins and stuff that you could sort of like do a, kind of bathe yourself that way. But there are, within the city, there are actually like bath houses, so that would be the place that you would go to get a bath, a real bath.
Yeah, I meant more just like one of those buckets that have water
Yeah,
in it. And then
so
you can just,
all
like,
of the rooms would have like the sort of like a water basin and everything that you could use to like take a rag or a towel or whatever to sort of like clean yourself that way.
Yeah, I'll probably do that just as like a general hygiene kind of thing. But I'll do it privately. Like, is it in a different room, considering I'm sharing a room?
They would actually be in each of the rooms, so you would just have to tell them to give you a
Granted,
moment.
we are all in the same room, so if you just left earlier, you could do it.
Yeah, just like
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay,
go
yeah,
do
I'll do
this
that.
real quick while you guys,
And if you do mention it, Grix will look at you and just say, "Well, if it's just dirt, I can clean it. If it's the smell, like in my case, I can't help."
Or you could just be like, hey, I want to share a room with Pebble, so it's just a little less awkward, right?
I'm not too bothered. So, I'm fine to just leave early and wash up.
I will, like I said, I'll clean off the clothes and hang them out, and then I'll get up on one of the beds in the room and just You don't know if he's drawing or writing or what, but he has a book out with a ink and pen, and he's just drawing.
Well, if that's it for the night, we might as well get some rest.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Agreed.
Grix,
He kind of just lifts his head up from the book.
he's gonna give this wide grin before going to his and Don's room. He's gonna go, we took a gem. Make sure nobody steals your fancy pocket cloak, yeah? He's gonna go back to his own room. Just go to bed.
As he's walking away,
Oop.
I'm gonna look to Pebble, and I'm gonna say, "Do me a favor, punch him." And I'm gonna point to her, and I'm gonna cast enlarge on her.
Okay. And
Oh,
she
no.
runs and punches him.
What would that be with it? Yeah, enlarge. Yeah, there you go.
It's a plus 1d4 for melee attack. So if she did like actually try to do damage, she would just get a plus.
Okay, gotcha. Let her rip.
I'm assuming it's just the d20.
Strength, I imagine. Yeah.
Well, it's an attack. It's an attack roll.
It's an unarmed attack though, because
Yeah.
I mean I could have said stab him, but I would have felt bad.
Yeah, that's a. Okay, that does hit.
Yeah, because you
So
don't
it's
get
a-
proficiency on unarmed attacks.
It's a 1 plus your strength, plus
And plus a 1d4. Yeah.
a 1d4. Yeah.
Okay, well, she's got 0 strength, so 5.
All right.
All right. How do you punch Daniel?
I would say rather than punching, she just runs headlong into him.
You're double your normal height, so you're almost 5 feet tall now. Or wait, no,
It
no, no,
doesn't account
almost
for-
6 feet tall now.
She doesn't account for that. She just tries to run headlong into him.
And her weight is 8 times what it used to be.
Dan's gonna go like, huh? What? Turn around, just get boom, just get bowled over by snow.
Well, I think she has.
Pebble gets so excited that she rages.
Oh no! Actually, that's plus 2 to damage.
I was gonna say, I think she has advantage, right? Is this considered a strength check?
Yeah, true.
Well, she raged afterwards, which doesn't help, but
No. But the enlarge gives you advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws.
oh,
It was an attack, so it would have been like a strength roll, like an attack roll, not a strength check. But yeah.
yeah. The only thing is when Pebble rages, more stuff happens. Let me just.
Oh god, is there a wild magic table?
There is.
Yep.
Oh shit!
Wild Soul Bob.
Watch as
Uh,
she bowls him over. His bears appear everywhere.
I don't have the one
I
with
have it.
20.
I have
Okay.
it. So if you want to
So
show it.
I will just roll it. Yes.
Is it like a D100 or a 1000?
No,
It's a
D20.
D20. By default, it's a D8, but we found an expanded one that's 20 just to make it more fun.
Yep.
Good learning experience. I love it.
Okay, so your visage becomes terrifying. Creatures within 30 feet of you must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you until the end of your next turn.
So she just gives out like a hulking roar as she enlarges.
What's the DC?
It's 14.
Yeah, I
I'm
fucking
good.
fall off my bed the other way.
Daniel's good. Caden's good. Poor Grix got like, whoa.
Verlin's a bit spooked.
Guy's trying to go to bed and he's got this bullshit happening.
I mean, Dawn probably doesn't need a roll because she's not even there to see the visage.
no.
So
She probably hears like the noise from like around the foot.
yeah, she would hear like the screaming and yelling, but like
Pebble's just cheering and having a really good time.
Dan's gonna give like a laugh, like, oh, what the fuck? It's gonna laugh, try to push her. I was like, oh, my head hits the floor. All right, off of me. Who's gonna kind of push on her?
After the fear wears off, he just kind of jumps back up on the bed and continues drawing.
So how long do I remain big?
Do, 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 do. 1 minute.
or until you decide to let it go. I mean, you can.
Oh no, I mean, if unless she's saying, I don't want to be bigger, like stop, I keep it for her. Actually, as she's big, I'll look at her and say, "Is this about the size of your family, or were they bigger?"
Some of them were about this size, and some of them were bigger.
So are you no longer the smallest member of your family?
I'm now middle. When we go visit my family, if we ever go visit them, you need to do this, and then I can be taller than some of them.
He'll laugh, like trying to go, like, all right, let me up. Start standing up, just try to go to his room.
Deal.
Good night. And she runs off with Verlin.
Kind of look back over at Kate and say, "Did you see that? She changed. Not just the size."
What do you mean?
And he kind of just looks and he's like, "You didn't see her face or anything change?"
Out of character, I did, right? It just didn't frighten me.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, she changed a bit, but I mean, what do you mean changed? Like, are you talking about the glowing orange? Like, we all saw that.
Maybe I must just still be startled from the dead bodies.
Yes, I think you should get some sleep.
Yeah. Once I finish this, yeah. Yep. And he just like quiets down and continues writing. And like half hour or so later, he would roll over and try to pass out.
All right. So you all get anything. You get your long rest. So anybody that would need anything to get back. So obviously you get your rage back after you just raged.
Yep.
Get my 5 hit points back.
Yes, you get all that stuff back. And when you're ready to head out in the morning, you can do so.
Verlin would head down early.
They'll come down next. This big, just bed heads. Like it's gotten worse. Just like floating to one side.
What does Verlin consider early? Like, dawn or before dawn?
I mean, he would have got his required sleep, then he would have been up and down.
Okay.
What time do most of the stores open in the marketplace, Matt? Like at dawn?
Probably. I mean, maybe about 7 a.m.
All right. Then I would be up for then, and I would like to go to an arts store.
Okay.
And I want to buy pink and orange paints. And I have 1 gold. So I'm trying to get something.
I mean, Verlin would be up. You can ask him if he can lend some. Or whatever.
Oh, he wouldn't ask. He would go.
So yeah, I mean you're able to
Okay.
to find basically anything that you.
All right. Yeah. And he will go back. All that stuff will be hidden away in his bag, but he will just go back and start eating and drinking with everyone.
Okay.
So
Daniel, oops, I'm sorry. Good.
go on, you're fine.
Go on. You talk for us. Go on.
Stop being polite.
Just
Fuck you-
talk.
Fuck you then. So how are you feeling this morning after your little sickness last night?
Oh, I'm fine.
You should try and eat a big breakfast.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yes.
Don't worry, you get used to it.
Not really something I want to get used to. But Pebble, what other colors have you gone before? And he like pulls out a little paper and starts jotting notes down.
One time I glowed blue.
That's necromancy. No, sorry.
Look, I
he's
need
just-
to know her color for that. So.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna keep asking you like just random little questions like that, you know.
I
Did you
really
pick the
want to
color-
glow purple. Never glowed purple.
Um, uh, he looks at you and he says, "Well, I can I can cast spells on someone here, or just on anything, and you can do your little thing, and I can tell you what school of magic it is based on what color you glow."
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I will cast. Can I do this on? All right. Yeah, I will cast enlarge again on a random piece of like furniture near us, like a chair or something, and I
Mhm.
will ask her to glow.
Yeah, she does her glowing and she glows blue.
All right. So that is transmutation then. And I'll tell her that. I'm like, oh well, when you glue around something like that, it was something that had been changed from what it originally was.
I wonder what that was then.
All right, let's see what else I got. All right, I kind of just I say this one's gonna be very quick. Just keep your eye on me,
She just stares at him.
and I will I will go ahead and cast Misty Step and like appear at the bar at a stool.
She glows green.
Okay. We already have divination. He kind of looks like he's gonna do something. He goes, "Best not to do that one here."
Fireball.
She...
Lightning bolt. Yeah, he'll go. Look at me again, and he will go ahead and cast shield.
she glows red.
Okay.
This is how Grix lost all his spell slots in one morning.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have to fight our lawyer.
If you wish, I can try something.
Well, so far we have divination, enchantment, transfiguration, conjuration, abjuration.
One second.
And I have evocation spells, but I really don't find that to be a good.
Can I cast Toll the Dead on like a piece of bread?
How would that work? Like what? Moldy bread?
It doesn't say the class there, but it's necromancy.
She does her purple.
You see Verlon cut his hand, run it across his blade, and it lights up in flame.
Would it be evocation or what? Yeah.
We're trying to find out.
Let's choose.
Because it doesn't actually say what school of magic it is.
Yeah, it doesn't say what school of blood magic is.
Yeah, so what colour is blood magic? Also, I need to roll a d6 to see how much damage I take.
Oh god, we're gonna blow all our shit like right in the morning.
Well, that ain't right.
Well, I think you just don't take the +3.
Yeah, it's added it to the die. 1 second. I take 5 points.
Dan's gonna give like looks like, do we really need to be messing with this early in the morning? We still need to figure out a pay in the orb.
This is my job to figure out magic that I don't understand.
Yeah, but we still got work to do. Can we just go back to the Quinn's Tavern and figure that one out there? After we get paid and give our share?
He looks extremely disappointed.
Don't
ain't
worry,
saying
I
don't.
can glow more colors later. I mean, we basically got all the colors, I think, right?
Well, I'm not sure what you would glow for an evocation spell, but all the other ones.
When you say that, I will pick up another piece of food and cast Sacred Flame on it.
What was that? What is Sacred Flame? I know what Sacred Flame is. Like, what school is it? Like divination?
Evocation.
Evocation.
And she will glow yellow.
All right.
And at this point, like the innkeeper's like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
That's kind of why I was saying, Greg. I wasn't trying to be mean.
Because you're like making things, casting magic and making the furniture grow, and they're just like, "Leave!"
And one person just keeps changing color.
Yeah.
Like, Dave's like, let's say, like, all right. That's kind of what I was saying, Greg. Come on now.
Grix is gonna look at the barkeep and just say, "This is official business of the academy. We will leave, but just remember that."
Just
Daniel's giving
leave.
Some really apologetic looks. Like, I know. We're going.
He like starts walking out, and you just hear him muttering about how people don't understand the importance of understanding arcane magic, and he's just grumpy now.
Daniel gives a Grix "I told you so" look, but yeah, they're gonna start heading towards the cafe, I imagine.
All right. So you guys make your way sort of through the plaza there, and as you're making your way towards where you met Moira before, you kind of come to a little bit of a plaza, and you can spot Moira actually. So she's leaning up against the wall in this sort of little courtyard area, and she looks a little different. I'm not gonna make you roll for it, but she looks a bit nervous. When you had seen her previously, she sort of had this sort of air of confidence, and now her posture is quite a bit different. Her head's kind of down, and her shoulders are a bit slumped. As you approach, she sees you, gives you a bit of a forced smile, kind of straightens herself up a little bit as you get closer.
Before we go to interact with her, I'll touch Daniel and say, "You'll lead the negotiations again, correct?"
Folk will let me, and I don't get attacked by wolves and bats again.
And I'll cast guidance on him.
Grix, you still got that orb?
He pulls it out of his. Actually, I'm pretty sure he would have given it back to Dawn afterwards. I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
Oh, so who had that thing?
Yeah, he would have given it back to Dawn after he finished doing identify.
All right, who's got the merchandise?
I hand it over.
Thank you, lovely. He's gonna kind of hold it kind of right in front of him as he goes over to over there. It's like, wait, sorry it took so long. We did find it.
Yeah. Grix is going to purposely stay out of sight and try to avoid this lady.
Fair enough. He's gonna kind of hold it out because so she can see it.
Roll stealth.
Oh god.
So as you guys start making your way towards her, and that is her to the bottom of the screen there. So like there's Moira.
So if she's looking nervous, can I roll insight to see if like we've been set up?
Yeah.
Dan's good in negotiations. It might be on you there, buddy. $13.
I mean, it's probably more of a perception than an insight. Just kind of if you're like looking to see if there's like if you're walking into a trap or anything like that. But
Okay.
I think a perception check's a wisdom check anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's less.
Yeah.
But it's still over 10, I think.
Regardless, I mean, you don't spot anything initially. She kind of just looks at you. She doesn't like go out to grab the item or anything like that, and she just kind of nervously kind of smiles at you and says, "Oh well, were you successful in your endeavor?"
Dan's gonna kind of lift it out. It's like, yeah, we got it, and didn't think it'd take so long, no. He's gonna say, it's like, is it possible to ask you for a favor?
She just kind of raises her eyes at you.
He kind of scratches his like, is it possible to ask for more money? Because I know it took so long, so you could easily say no, but that job was a bit messy. I ain't gonna get too specific, but Creighton's a dead man. So he kind of offers, like, if you want it, take it. It's yours. I'd like to ask you some if I can. Would it be persuasion?
Yeah.
And I'm going to detect her thoughts because I do not trust this woman after talking about magic to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's bad at negotiating, but if you think about it, it's more. You gotta be friendly with the client.
Straightforward.
You know? Yeah. He's a people person, but he's not like a people pleaser.
I know, I'm just messing with you because
I know.
it's like going in to ask for a raise, and it's like, look, you don't need to give me a raise, but I'd like one.
I rolled guidance for the hell of it, 27.
And at this point, you can see that she looks kind of upset. You see that she actually looks a little bit kind of shameful, maybe a little bit embarrassed, and she just sort of chuckles like, well, you see, I wasn't really sure if you'd be able to handle the job, and I only hired you all because I thought you'd simply lead me to Creighton, and then I'd be able to get the gem from him myself. I mean, no one hires Fortuna's favor for anything these days. I just wanted you to flush him out. I didn't really believe you'd complete the job, and so I may have exaggerated a bit on how much I could actually pay you.
Danielle retracts the order before she takes it. Goes.
No, she hasn't even tried to reach out for it. I mean, like,
Exaggerate by how much exactly?
and she just kind of keeps her head down, and from the east, from essentially from behind you, you hear a familiar voice who calls out and says, "Well, looks like someone was right about Moira after all, wasn't he?" And
Yeah,
you see-
you are right.
You see Hugo and his entourage coming up behind you. And actually that right there is where we will end the session.
All right.